And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Yolo High Wheelers Baseball. This is Doug Greenwald coming to you live tonight as it is Game 4 of this series between the Yolo High Wheelers and the Boise Hawks. So far, Yolo has won 2 out of the first 3 and 7 of 9 against Boise when you go back to the games that were played in Davis last week. So because of that, the Yolo High Wheelers now have a 1-game lead over Boise for the final playoff spot in the second half. Oakland is first, 26-13. The Ballers have won 6 in a row, 9 of 10. Yolo a 2-game lead over, Oakland a 2-game lead over Yolo, and a 3-game lead over Boise. So Yolo, remember, not only has a 1-game lead over Boise, but actually, if these two teams should tie at the end of next Sunday, then Yolo does have the tiebreaker. Regardless of what happens in this series, Yolo will have the head-to-head. However, if Boise wins out in this series, then they would go back into a sole possession lead of second, so the tiebreaker wouldn't matter. But anyway, the High Wheelers do have that tiebreaker in the back pocket. So again, Yolo 24-15 in the second half, Boise 23-16 in the second half. Overall records, Yolo is at 47-38, and Boise at 48-39. So again, the fourth game of this series about to get underway, and we will send it down now to the field for the playing of tonight's national anthem. All right, the national anthem here tonight from Boise. All right, let's take a look at the starting lineups first for the visiting Yolo High Wheelers and manager Billy Horton. Leading off and playing in center field is Braylon Skinner. Batting second and playing shortstop, and that's Braylon Marine. Hitting third and at third base, Braden Blackford. The cleanup batter is the first baseman, Jose Gonzalez. In the fifth spot, playing right field, Tanner Smith. David Glancy bats sixth, and he plays in left field. Batting seventh and playing at second base, Kirkland Banks. The designated hitter tonight is Ethan Bates, and he makes his first appearance of this series. And batting ninth and rounding out the lineup doing the catching is Angel Mendoza. On the mound for Yolo, the left-hander, Brandon Mitchell. So again, for the Yolo High Wheelers and manager Billy Horton, it's Skinner, Marine, and Blackford, Gonzalez, Smith, and Glancy, Banks, Bates, Mendoza, and the lefty Mitchell on the mound. For Gary Van Tol and the Boise Hawks, Nick Klemp, who's had 14 hits in this series, he leads it off and does the catching. Michael O'Hara, who we normally see in the leadoff spot for Boise, he is not in the lineup tonight. So Klemp, the catcher, leads off. And again, as I just said, bats first. Usually the leadoff guy does. Batting second at third base is Troy Viola. A little different look at the Boise lineup tonight. In the third spot, a guy we have yet to see for the Boise Hawks, and he will be the designated hitter. And that is Nick Ulch, capital ULTSCH. Nick Ulch is the DH and he bats in the third spot. Mikey Yonamine, he moves back to the cleanup spot tonight and is at first base. Batting fifth and playing in left field, Patrick Marino. Hitting sixth is the shortstop, Trevor Minder. In the seventh position in center field, Tyner Hughes. Batting eighth and playing in right field tonight is Noah Marcello. And batting ninth and playing at second base tonight is Trevor Jorgensen. And on the mound tonight for the Boise Hawks is Braden Spears, the left-hander. So again, a look at the Boise Hawks. I think I said Trevor Jorgensen. Tyler Jorgensen bats ninth and is at second. And again, on the mound tonight for the Boise Hawks, a guy who pitched very well in the one game he appeared in Davis last week and got the win, Braden Spears. And again, he gets the start tonight, the right-hander for the Boise Hawks. So again, for Boise manager Gary Van Tol, it's Klemp, Viola, and Ulch, Yonamine, Marino, and Minder, Hughes, Marcello, Jorgensen, and the right-hander in Braden Spears on the mound. The starting lineups here tonight. The umpires for tonight's game, calling balls and strikes, is the crew chief, Cody Kernut. Elliot Sparks is the umpire at first base, and the umpire around at third is Brandon Hastings. So, as I said, we are set to go here tonight in just a moment from Boise, Idaho. And again, the High Wheelers have won 7 of 9 against Boise. Here's a team in Boise coming in and just pretty much dominating the second half. And then they ran into Yolo, who of late has really been dominant. High Wheelers, you'll recall, won 5 out of 6 at Grand Junction, won 5 out of 6 at home against Boise. So right there, that's 10 out of 12. And so far, 2 out of the first 3. So, as I said, we are getting ready for baseball here this evening. So it'll be Braylon Skinner to lead it off against Spears. So it's Skinner, Marine, and Blackford to get things started on this Friday night from Idaho. And Spears, who grew up in the Bay Area, works out of the set position, kicks in the first pitch of the ball game. He is low and in, ball one. 1 ball, no strikes, and on our way at 7:08 Mountain Time here on a very pleasant evening for baseball in Boise. 86 degrees at first pitch. The 1-0 to Skinner, and that swung on and missed. Strike one from Spears. And the count is at 1 ball and 1 strike to the game's first batter. Ian Braylon Skinner digs in at .299. He has 7 home runs and 44 runs batted in. As Spears delivers and Skinner swings, and he taps this ball towards second base. To his left is Jorgensen. Easy play for him. And he'll just flip the ball overhand to the first baseman, Yonamine. And Skinner is out to open the ball game. So just like that, 1 out, no score, top half of the first. Skinner was 1 for 5 with an RBI last night. So 1 away. Top half of the first inning. And now it's Braylon Marine who comes up. Third best average in the league at .383 as Marine takes, and that is outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. So .383 for Marine, 8 home runs, and he has 64 runs batted in. Marine last night, a couple of hits, and he swings here, and Marine grounds this one toward short to his left. Minder up with the baseball, and he'll throw to Yonamine at first. And Braylon Marine is out number 2 here in the top half of the first inning. No score. Yolo and Boise. And now here is the third baseman in Braden Blackford. Now Blackford did not reach base last night. A string of 14 straight games reaching base safely came to an end. As Spears from the high set, kicks, high leg kick, and the pitch, and that's taken down the middle, strike 1. 0-1. .328 for Blackford, 12 home runs, and he has 57 runs batted in. So no score, top half of the first inning. Yolo and Boise And the pitch on the way to Blackford, and that is high for a ball. So the count moves now to 1-1 strike against Braden Spears. So we have the all-Braden matchup. Different spellings to the name. As the pitch on the way to Blackford, and that's just outside for a ball. And moves the count now to, I believe the count is a 2 balls and a strike. We're having some trouble with our scoreboard here. So Braden Spears, capital B-R-A-Y-D-E-N. Braden Blackford, capital B-R-A-E-D-O-N. Braden Blackford swings, and he flies this one high in the air toward center field. And it will be to his right to make the catch, Tyner Hughes, and that concludes the top half of the first inning. So the High Wheelers go 1, 2, 3 in the first, as Blackford, as I said, flies to center. So an easy first for Spears, who had a lot of easy innings against Yolo last start. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left after half an inning. Yolo nothing in Boise coming up on YouTube Live. After half an inning tonight, Yolo nothing, and Boise coming up to face the Houston area native and Brandon Mitchell. He enters tonight's game with a record of 4 wins and 2 losses. His ERA is at 7.77 and lost his last start, the only loss the High Wheelers had last week against Boise, the series in Davis. Mitchell in that game lasted 5 innings, gave up 7 hits, 5 runs all earned, walked 2, and struck out 4. So on to the bottom of the first inning, and Nick Klemp to lead it off. It'll be Klemp, Viola, and Ulch to face Mitchell. And the first pitch on the way to Klemp, and that's taken for a strike on the outside corner. And the count is a no balls and 1 strike. So Klemp we normally see hitting cleanup, but a little different look, and especially to this Boise lineup tonight. And Klemp, guy that's got some speed for a catcher, Mitchell delivers, swing, and a tapper toward second base. To his right is Banks, and he will throw on to the first baseman Gonzalez, and that is out number 1 here in the bottom half of the first inning. So 1 down. So mentioned Klemp, 14 hits in this series. Klemp coming into tonight, average at .305 with 4 homers and 35 runs batted in. So 1 up and 1 down here in the bottom half of the first inning. No score, Yolo and Boise, and now it's Viola who takes a strike on the inside corner. And that moves the count to no balls and 1 strike. So the powerful Troy Viola. Nothing, bottom of the first. Mitchell 3-quarter windup delivers, and Viola grounds this ball to shortstop. It's grabbed by Marine, and an easy throw on the run over to Gonzalez at first. And Viola is retired. So a couple of quick outs here in the bottom half of the first inning. 0-0. Yolo and Boise. And now our first look at Nick Olch. Capital U-L-T-S-C-H, but he certainly is no stranger to this league. Big left-handed batter in Olch as Mitchell delivers. And Olch, a big swing and a foul at the plate, strike one. And the count's no balls and one strike. Olch, I say big, 6'4", 200 pounds. Just celebrated his 27th birthday. And this is his 4th year in the Pioneer League, which includes 83 games this season with the Ogden Raptors, as he swings and flies this one to left field. But David Glancy barely has to move for it. The left fielder is there, and he makes the catch. So each team goes in order in the first. We are done with one tonight from Boise, Idaho. It is no score, Yolo and Boise on YouTube Live.
Installment loans apply most of your early payments to interest, and it takes
We move on to the top half of the second inning. So far, a bunch of zeros up there. Neither team has had a base runner. I guess if you can figure out that neither team has had a base runner, you can probably figure out the game is 0-0. So Jose Gonzalez to lead it off for Yolo. It'll be Gonzalez, Smith, and Glancy to face the right-hander and Braden Spears. So Gonzalez comes into tonight 8th in the league in hitting at .365. He has a team-high 18 homers. 75 runs batted in. And the first pitch on the way to Gonzalez from Spears, low and in, ball one. 1 ball and no strikes. Gonzalez, about the only one who did something against Spears last week. He had an RBI single against him, but his other 2 at-bats against Spears, he struck out. As the pitch to Jose, and that's driven foul left side. And the count's at no balls and 2 strikes with a game no score, bottom of the first inning. Doug Greenwald with you on YouTube Live. Again tomorrow and Sunday as well at the same time of 6 o'clock Pacific. The 0-2 pitch, and that floats outside, ball one. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Spears, 6'6", 225 pounds. He's 23 years old. Mentioned he's from the Bay Area. He's from Brentwood. So well out toward the East Bay, out toward the right where the Delta begins, at least the west side of the Delta, before it eventually feeds into Stockton as the 1-2 pitch outside, ball 2 to Gonzalez. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Met Spears' dad last week, Derek. So nice of Derek to come by and say hello. Had some kind words about our Flow Sports broadcast, which we have at home. Apparently the count was at 3-2, and the next pitch outside, ball 4. So Gonzalez draws a walk. So Jose wastes little time, extending his streak now of reaching base safely to 34 straight games. Last time Gonzalez did not reach base safely, and obviously we're talking about any game in which he played, July 20th against Oakland. So now it's Tanner Smith who comes up. 0-0. So Gonzalez, the first base runner for either side. And now the first pitch to Tanner Smith. And that's a called strike on the outside corner. And the count moves to no balls and 1 strike. Average for Smith is a 280, 9 home runs, 45 runs batted in. No balls and a strike to count. 0-0, top of the second. And the pitch. And that's a breaking ball taken for a strike on the inner half. And that moves the count now to a ball and a strike to Smith. But anyway, Spears, that last outing, 7+ innings. Gave up 2 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned. Walked 3, struck out 9. The 1-1 to Tanner. High fastball, foul to the backstop, strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 0-0, bottom of the second inning. Yolo and Boise. Smith against Spears was 0 for 2 with a walk. So Gonzalez at first base with nobody out. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Tanner Smith. Rests that bat just over his left shoulder. And the pitch, and Tanner swings, and he lines this one into center field. It's going to get down for a hit. Gonzalez touches second. He is on his way to third, and he will stop there as the center fielder Hughes gets the ball in towards second. And now the Highwheelers, something cooking. Nobody out. Runners at the corners. No score. Top of the second inning. And it's David Glancy who comes up. We mentioned the job that Spears did against Yolo in that start last week. And I'll go more into the numbers in a moment, but there was quite a stretch of guys he retired in order. So now Glancy comes up. And the pitch to David is a called strike on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike. After Braden Blackford had singled against Spears in the bottom of the 4th inning to lead off, Spears, after that point, had set down 12 straight Highwheelers. No balls and a strike. Runners at the corners, top of the second. And Glancy swings at a high chopper off the plate. Viola up with it on the grass and is throw to first. Not in time. Gonzalez scores. Smith the second, and David Glancy has an RBI infield hit, and it is 1-0 Yolo here in the top half of the second. Yeah, that ball was chopped high off the plate, and really wasn't much Viola could do. I mean, he had to wait for the ball to come down. Gonzalez was going to score regardless. Smith was going to get the second no matter what. And more than likely, Glancy was going to be safe at first, and he was. Viola's throw to Yonamine, not in time. So give Glancy a run batted in. That's his 14th now for the Highwheelers. So a run in. The leadoff walk so far has led to 1 run, and now it's Kirkland Banks. And he bunts through the pitch and misses, but the ball gets away from the catcher in Klemp, who claims the ball was tipped foul. I can see the shortstop Minder signaling foul ball. The home plate umpire, Cody Kernut, all he did was get out of the way. He never signaled that it was a foul tip. And the runners advance. So much. Banks bunts through the pitch. It's 0-1, but he's still in a strange way. The runners move up. So we'll score that for you in a moment. And now the pitch to Banks is inside, ball 1. And the count is at 1 ball and 1 strike. So possibly a big break right there for the Highwheelers. Counts at a ball and a strike to Kirkland Banks. Did not play last night. He takes down the middle, strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Banks hits a .275. He has 7 home runs, 36 runs batted in. So 0-2 the count. Infield's back. They'll concede a run here. 1-0 Yolo. Top of the second, and the 2-strike pitch. Breaking ball, and that is swung on and lined to second, but caught by Jorgensen. So the infield back right there, and that allowed a little more time for Jorgensen. Not much catching a line drive, but still catches the line drive. So that's 1 out. Tough break there for Banks. I mean, he hit that ball hard, obviously put it in play, but unable to get a run in. So 1 second baseman lines to the other. So it's 1 out. Top of the second inning. Yolo 1. Boise nothing. And now Ethan Bates comes to the plate. First appearance of this series, whether it be as a pitcher or a hitter for the two-way player. And he swings, and he taps this ball toward third, and that's going to get past the third base bag and on down the left field line. Smith will score. Glancy rounds third. He will score, and Bates has a two-run single, and it's 3-0 Yolo. So Bates just very simply chopped down on that ball, and I thought it was going to trickle foul, but it just sneaked in fair just past the third base bag. Nothing Viola could do. Marino, the left fielder, eventually got to the ball in foul ground, and Bates has a two-run single, and now it is 3-0 Yolo. Bates at first base, and now it's Angel Mendoza, the catcher, who digs in. And the pitch on the way to Mendoza, and he swings and misses at a breaking ball, strike one. And the count's a no balls and a strike, so Bates, his first two RBIs as a pro. Remember, he had a hit against Boise last week. You know, there's, as Billy Horton says, they'd like to get Bates' bat in the lineup a little bit. As Mendoza swings, and he lines this one into center field, and that's going to get down, and that's going to roll past the center fielder Hughes and go all the way to the wall. Bates rounds third. He will score. Billy Horton will stop Mendoza at third as the center fielder Hughes eventually retraces his steps to grab the ball. Mendoza on the what should be ruled an RBI triple, but regardless, he's at third base, and it is now 4-0 Yolo, top half of the second. I'd like to see if we get a replay of that. That ball was hit towards center, and then the center fielder Hughes came in, and the ball just had some spin to it and went right past him. So now a 4-0 lead for the Highwheelers here in the top half of the second inning. Still just one out. So that last outing, it was Spears taking it to the Highwheelers in this inning. And remember, it's a leadoff walk that got things going. So far, it's led to 4 Yolo runs here in the top half of the second inning. And the pitching coach, Travis Blackley, who has known Spears. Travis told me, I know I mentioned this on the broadcast really the day after Spears pitched, but Blackley told me that the years he's lived in the Bay Area that he has gotten to know Spears and helped teach Spears some pitching when Spears was in high school. He's known Spears a long time, and obviously the connection here has helped Spears get to the Boise Hawks. But Blackley out to settle down Spears. So Mendoza is at third. And now for the second time in as many innings, Yolo goes to the top of its order for the center fielder, Braylon Skinner. 4-0 Highwheelers. And the pitch to Skinner, and that's taken low, ball one. And the count is at 1 ball and no strikes. So runner at third. Infield in. Skinner grounded to second to open the ball game. And the pitch to Braylon is outside, ball one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Still waiting on that scoring decision. The game day live feed is apparently out right now. So we have to wait to see what the ruling is there. Again, the infield in with Mendoza at third. 4-0 Highwheelers, top of the second. And Spears deals, and Skinner takes, and that's outside, ball two. So 2 balls and 1 strike, and a 4-0 Yolo lead. And the pitch, swing, and a ground ball to first base. Sean Amine, who was playing well off the bag, up with the ball just on the lip of the grass, and he'll hustle to first to get the out. He was able to check Mendoza at third, so Mendoza holds there. Skinner is out, 3 unassisted, 2 down. 4-0 Yolo, and now Braylon Marine will come up. He is the 8th man to bat in this inning. And 4-0 Yolo, top half of the second. Marine grounded to shortstop his first time, and he swings here with the infield back, grounds at the shortstop. Up with the ball is Minder, and he will throw on to the first baseman, Yonamine. And Marine is out. Second time he's grounded out to his counterpart, Minder, at short. 4 runs for Yolo. There were 3 hits. I believe no errors. We'll worry about that later. But 4 runs, 3 hits, and 1 man left. After an inning and a half, it's Yolo 4 and Boise nothing on YouTube Live. Moving along to the bottom half of the second inning, it is 4-0 Yolo. The ball Mendoza hit was ruled an RBI triple. So there were no errors in the top half of the second inning. So 4 runs, 3 hits, no errors, and 1 left. Now Mendoza, it's his second triple of the year. Both have come against Boise. The RBI there for Mendoza, his 20th. All right, Micah Yonamine leads it off, and Brandon Mitchell, a 4-run lead with which to work, delivers outside to Yonamine, ball 1. And the count is at 1 ball. And no strikes to Yonamine. Looks inside, ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. 341 for Yonamine. He has 23 homers, and he has a team-high 93 runs batted in as Mitchell deals a strike on the inner half. And that moves the count now to 1 ball and 2 strikes to Yonamine. Grips the bat right on the end, holds it well above, right to the side of his helmet. And he swings here and grounds one foul up along third. And the count is at remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yonamine 1 for 4 last night. Has 4 hits in the series here in Boise. Overall against the High Wheelers this year, Yonamine has a total of 8 hits as he takes low and in, ball 2. So the count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes to Micah Yonamine. So 1 and 2 the count. So Yonamine, Marino, and Minder, 4, 5, 6, and the pitch, swing foul to the backstop. And the count holds at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yonamine, who's in his first year in the Pioneer League. Mentioned this last night and just the way the game flowed. And, well, shockingly, things happened. That didn't really talk more about Yonamine and where he is in terms of the base hit race. Not the average race, but the base hit race in the Pioneer League. He's got 126 hits this year, which is second most in the league. The kick and the 2-2 pitch, and Yonamine looks at strike 3 on the inside corner. And he is out, 1 down. So Mitchell has set down the first 4 Hawks to face him tonight. Yonamine, the first strikeout victim of Mitchell. 1 out, and now our first look in Boise at the left fielder. And Patrick Marino, we saw him as mostly a pinch runner or pinch hitter in that series in Davis, and he takes a strike on the inside corner. 0-1 to the Cuba native, the former Ray farm in Marino. Comes in batting at 260. 4-0 Yolo, bottom of the second, the 0-1 pitch. And Marino flies this ball to center field, but Skinner, a couple steps to his left, is there, and he puts it away. And Marino is out number 2 in the bottom of inning number 2. 4-0 Yolo leading Boise. 4 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the High Wheelers. Nothing across so far for the Hawks. And now the shortstop digs in. And Trevor Minder at 276. He has 1 home run. And he has 13 RBIs. As Mitchell deals, and that's taken for a strike on the outside corner. And the count is a no balls and 1 strike from Brandon Mitchell, who's 6'2", 215 pounds, and he's going to be celebrating a birthday in a couple of days. He'll be 25. Swing, ground ball toward second, but right at Banks, up with the ball. He throws to Gonzalez at first, and Minder is out. So not only a shutdown inning for Mitchell, a quick shutdown inning for Mitchell, and a perfect shutdown inning for Brandon Mitchell. Nothing across. We go to the third. 4-0 Yolo leads Boise on YouTube Live. Yolo 4, Boise nothing. Moving on to the top of the third inning. Doug Greenwald with you on YouTube Live. So the Yolo High Wheelers, a 4-run second inning. And the only man not to bat in the second inning, he missed out on all the fun, is Braden Blackford to lead it off. So it's Blackford, Gonzalez, and Smith, 3, 4, and 5. And, you know, I'm talking about the hitting of late for the High Wheelers. I was talking to Billy Horton, the manager, last night. It's the first pitch to Blackford. Fouled off left side, 0-1 from Braden Spears to Braden Blackford. No balls and 1 strike. And Billy Horton talked about the hitting of late and specifically some of the innings that have occurred in this series. So last night, the High Wheelers had a 3-run 4th inning. The other night, a pair of 3-run innings. Blackford swings here, a tapper towards second, a step to his right. Jorgensen up with the ball. And he will throw to Yonamine at first. And Blackford is out. 1 away. We are in the third inning, the top half of the third. 4-0 Yolo. And now the first baseman comes up in Jose Gonzalez, who jump-started that 4-run second with a walk and scored on the RBI single by David Glancy. But, yeah, Billy Horton was saying about the offense. It's he's saying the guys feed off each other, and once we start to get a few hits, the guys just start rolling. First pitch on the way to Gonzalez is outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. And, you know, you look at last night, it was a Gonzalez home run that started that third inning. Gonzalez swings here and drives one toward deep left field. And this ball is caught by the left fielder, Marino. Had to hesitate for a moment. Marino went back toward the wall and left, that 12-foot wall, and able to make the play right there. So Gonzalez gave it a ride, but not good enough there. So 2 out, top of the third inning, 4-0 Yolo over Boise. And now the right fielder, Tanner Smith, comes up. But Gonzalez has started both rallies the last couple of nights. And he certainly was part of the 2 3-run rallies the High Wheelers had the other night. So now it's Smith who takes a strike on the outside corner. No balls, 1 strike. 4-0 High Wheelers. Third inning, top half. Braden Spears deals, and Smith swings, and he flies this one toward deep right center field. Pretty well struck, and this ball is gone. Over the 12-foot wall in right center, Tanner Smith makes it 5-0 Yolo. 10th home run this season for Tanner Smith. And RBI for Tanner is his 46th. So the High Wheelers, I said last time out, barely able to touch Spears. And tonight, I say barely able. I mean, they got him for 3 runs to earn. But tonight so far, 5 runs through 3+ innings. Now it's Glancy. And he takes high ball 1. And the count's at 1-0. So Tanner Smith now 2 for 2 tonight with a single, a homer, 2 runs scored, and an RBI. Glancy, an RBI infield hit, that high chopper toward third in the second inning. 5-0 Yolo, and Glancy takes a breaking pitch off the back of his black helmet. Looks to be okay, just tosses the bat aside, and he'll trot down to first base. So Spears, something he didn't do in his last outing, and that is hit a batter. So 2 out, 1 on, 5-0 Yolo. And now Kirkland Banks will come up. Home run allowed by Spears. Get this, folks. Just the second home run he has given up this year in just over 50 innings. That is not a small sample size. Now Banks, and Kirkland looks at a strike on the outside corner. And that moves the count to no balls and 1 strike. Five-0 High Wheelers. Top of the third. Banks lined to second in the second inning. And the pitch on the way to Kirkland. Breaking ball, a swing, and a foul to the backstop. So no balls and 2 strikes the count. I mean, that's pretty impressive. Only 2 home runs given up in just over 50 innings. Especially playing in a league where some places a pop-up's a home run swing, and a chopper to second base that's gloved by the second baseman Jorgensen. Underhand toss the shortstop Minder covering, and that forces Glancy at second, 4-6. And Banks is out. Home run by Smith adds to the Yolo lead. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 stranded. We go to the bottom of the third. It's Yolo 5 and Boise 0 on YouTube Live. We start the bottom of the third inning, 5-0 Yolo. Tyner Hughes leads it off, and he takes a strike from Brandon Mitchell on the inside corner, 0-1. Bottom third of the Hawks order, as Hughes a big swing and a tapper foul, strike 2 up along third. So no balls and 2 strikes. Hughes, Marcello, and Jorgensen. 7, 8, 9. So Mitchell 2 perfect innings so far. And now a 5-run lead with which to work here in the bottom of the third. So again, Hughes gets the start in center tonight. There's the 0-2. And Tyner chops this ball to second base. Big bounce for Banks. Kirkland up with it, and he'll throw to Gonzalez at first. And Hughes is out. So 7 in a row set down by Brandon Mitchell to commence his night. The lead is 5-0 Yolo, bottom of the third inning. And now it's Noah Marcello's turn. So Marcello, the right fielder. For Noah, bats at .280. He has 5 home runs, and he has 42 runs batted in. And the pitch on the way for Mitchell, and that's down the middle, strike 1. No balls and a strike for Mitchell, who's almost done with his first year of professional baseball after spending the last 4 seasons at the University of New Orleans. That includes this spring, as Mitchell takes, and that's outside for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Mitchell, 2-seam fastball, a slider, and a changeup for the Houston native. A windup in the 1-1, and Marcello fouls into the backstop, strike 2. And the count is at 1 ball and 2 strikes. One ball and 2 strikes the count to the Bay Area product to Noah Marcello as Mitchell comes home, and Marcello swings and misses strike 3, and he is down on strikes. Now Marcello is out, and that is the second strikeout for Mitchell. So quickly 2 out here in the bottom half of the third inning. It is 5-0 Yolo. And now Tyler Jorgensen bats with a .232 average. Left-handed batting second baseman. And the pitch of Jorgensen from Mitchell is a strike called on the outside corner. And the count is at no balls and 1 strike. Let me correct one thing about Mitchell. I had said he had pitched with UNO this season, meaning this past spring. Last year, meaning 2023, was his final season at the University of New Orleans, which makes more sense considering that he was with Yolo toward the end of May when college baseball was still going. Next pitch outside for a ball, 1-1. And Mitchell right back, misses outside of Jorgensen, ball 2. So 2 balls and a strike to count. Tyler Jorgensen, mentioned .230. He has 2 home runs, and he has 50 runs batted in. 5-0 High Wheelers, bottom of the third inning. As Mitchell, 3-quarter windup and the pitch, and that is outside for a ball. Now the count to Jorgensen is at 2 balls and a strike. So Mitchell, again, the only High Wheeler pitcher to lose a game in the series last week, makes the 2-1, and Jorgensen fouls one at the plate, strike 2. And the count is now at 2 balls and 2 strikes to the Phoenix area product and Tyler Jorgensen. So 2-2 the count. 5-0 Yolo. And the pitch to Jorgensen. He pops this one up foul left side. And the count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2-2 the count. 5-0 High Wheelers. They're in the bottom half of the third. And the pitch. And Jorgensen commits too far. 1 around, strike 3. Really more of a half swing, but a half swing's a full swing. And Brandon Mitchell now 3 perfect innings to get his evening going with 3 strikeouts. So nothing across. We go to the 4th. It's Yolo 5. It is. I was right the first time. Yolo 5 and Boise nothing. I can't do math, folks. Yolo 5, Boise nothing on to the 4th in a moment on YouTube Live. On to the fourth inning tonight from Boise. It is Yolo 5 and Boise nothing here at Memorial Stadium. Capacity 3,452. Opened in 1989. Ethan Bates leads it off. Ethan was not around in 1989. Just means I'm old. And the pitch to Bates is outside, ball one. And the count is at 1 ball and no strikes. So it's Bates, Mendoza, and then the top of the Yolo order for the center fielder, Skinner. 5-0 High Whalers, and Braden Spears pitch, and Bates a swing and a foul ball left side. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, Ethan Bates, a 2-run single and a run scored in that 4-run second inning. Well, Bates, in the standout two-way player at Louisiana Tech. The count is at 1-1, I should say, and Bates a check swing, foul ball left side. Strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now, as I said, this is Bates' first appearance of any kind in this series. Was in the starting lineup for the first time ever professionally on August 23rd against Boise. So that was not the game Spears pitched. Yolo 5, Boise nothing. Top of the fourth, the 1-2. And Ethan swings and he taps this ball toward short. To his left, Minder up with the baseball. Will throw to Yonamine at first. And Bates is retired. 1 out. Top of the fourth inning. The score is 5-0 Yolo leading Boise. And now it's the catcher and Angel Mendoza who comes up. But Bates talked about him being a standout infielder at Louisiana Tech and a pitcher. The Conference USA Player of the Year for this past spring. Certainly first team all-conference player, where he hit .337 with 15 homers and 74 RBIs for the Bulldogs. So now it's Mendoza who had an RBI triple in that 4-run second. And the pitch from Spears is low and in, and it hit him. It hit Mendoza just below, it looked like the left knee, so Angel will go down to first base. So he's on base for the second time tonight. Second batter, Spears is hit. 5-0 Yolo. Top of the fourth, and now for the third time this evening, in just 4 innings now, Yolo will go to the top of its order for the center fielder in Braylon to Skinner. He's 0 for 2. 5-0 High Whalers, and Spears from the high set. And that pitch is bunted up along the grass, third base side. Charged by the third baseman, gloved by the third baseman Viola, and throws to Yonamine just in time to get Skinner. That moves Mendoza to second. Skinner is out on the sacrifice bunt, 5-3. So nice play there by Viola. Knew that he didn't have a whole lot of time to get the speedy Skinner, who is a left-handed batter, so he already has a little bit of a head start toward first. So 2 out, and now it's Braylon Marine who bats. 5-0 Yolo, top of the fourth inning. Braylon twice is grounded to his counterpart Minder at shortstop, so he's 0 for 2. Mendoza at second base. And Spears from the high set looks back at second. And just standing like a statue. Now finally delivers, and Marine is swinging a miss at a curveball and 1. Talking about Braylon Spears being from the Bay Area, being from Brentwood, and was matriculated at several colleges, but didn't really get to pitch much at any of the following places: Cal State Fullerton, University of Oregon, and Boise State. As the 0-1 pitch is low, ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and 1 strike with a 5-0 High Wheeler lead over the Hawks. Top of the fourth inning, and I know that Spears was certainly expected to have a full season or 2 at Boise State, but once the Broncos revitalized baseball, then the pandemic hit in 2020. Mendoza at second base, and the pitch to Marine, big swing and a foul to the screen, strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 5-0 Yolo, top of the fourth. Still plenty of daylight in Boise. Lights have been on all game. But 14 games the Broncos played. I'm not saying Spears played in every one of them, but Broncos came back. Program came back for baseball for 14 games. Pandemic shut it down, and they didn't regain baseball. 2-strike pitch, waste pitch low and away, ball 2. Good backhand pick by the catcher, Klemp. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yolo 5, Boise nothing, top of the fourth. Took Boise State 40 years to reinstitute baseball, and it took 14 games and a pandemic to shut it down again. The kick and the 2-2, and again a waste pitch way outside, ball 3. And the count is now at 3 balls and 2 strikes to Braylon Marine. And we touched on this last week, but those of you who weren't with us, Braylon Spears, his coach at Boise State, is his manager now here with the Hawks. And Gary Van Tol. 3-2 on the way to Marine, low and in, ball 4. So Braylon Marine draws a 2-out walk. First and second now. And it's up to Braden Blackford, who is 0 for 2 tonight. He has fly to center. And he is granted a second base with a 5-0 Yolo advantage. Top half of the 4th inning. So Braden Spears has had a couple of connections here with the Hawks. Remember, as I just said, his college coach, albeit briefly at Boise State, Gary Van Tol. First pitch to Blackford, outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, and his pitching coach, Travis Blackley. And when Travis, who was still playing professionally, lived in the Bay Area, lived out near San Lorenzo, out in the East Bay, got to know Braylon Spears when Braylon was in high school and helped tutor him and give him pitching tips as the 1-0 pitch is taken for a strike. And Blackford would like that challenge, at least looked like he wanted a challenge, or they're going to forego the challenge, I guess. All right, so it'll stay a strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike to count. So Mendoza's at second, Marine is at first. High Wheelers 5, Hawks nothing, top 4 from Boise, Idaho. The 1-1 pitch, and that's low and in, ball 2. So it counts now at 2 balls and 1 strike from Braylon Spears to Braden Spears to Braden Blackford. Now 1 ball and 1 strike to count. To Blackford. Runners at first and second, and the pitch. Swing and a miss, high fastball, strike 2. So the count moves now to 1 ball and 2 strikes from Spears, who is in his now 3rd pro year, all with Boise. So, as I said, obviously he's got to know Gary Van Tol quite well from his time at Boise State, and now 3 seasons with him with the Hawks. Runners at first and second, land the pitch, and Blackford swings, hits one off the mound, and that is going to get through into center field, a base hit. Rounding third is Mendoza. He will score. Makes it 6-0 Yolo. Marine goes first to third standing up. And Braden Blackford has an RBI single to center. So a 2-out hit for the High Wheelers. RBI for Braden Blackford is number 58. I had to wait just a second. That ball hit the mound, and I thought for a moment the second baseman Jorgensen moving to his right was going to get the ball, and I wanted to hesitate on my call, and then, much to my surprise, and maybe your surprise as well, the ball went on to the center. So 6-0 Yolo. Now Jose Gonzalez bats with runners at the corners. Jose is 0 for 1, a walk and a run scored. And Spears delivers on a breaking ball, and that is taken high, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. But Spears, again, a 6-1 record this season, 2.92 ERA. He just does not have enough innings to qualify to be in the top 10 at earned run average. As the pitch to Gonzalez, and that's driven foul left side. Strike 1. And the count is at 1 ball and 1 strike. But Spears mentioned 4 games, 1 start with Boise State, and then just 1 game at both the University of Oregon and at Cal State Fullerton. So, yeah, he was on the roster, but hardly played. Now the next pitch is in the dirt, and the ball kicks away from the catcher, Klimp, and up the second base goes Blackford. Holding at third is Marine on the wild pitch. So Marine, as I said, stays at third. Blackford moves to second. Count to Gonzalez is at 1-1 strike. 6-0 Yolo, top of the fourth inning. And now a base hit to the outfield could give the Highwheelers 2 more runs as Gonzalez takes high for a ball. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Gonzalez, the team leader in RBIs with 75, so he's got a chance at a few more here as he looks at a strike on the inside corner from Spears. So the count now at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jose Gonzalez, with Yolo up by a count of 6-0 in the top of the fourth. Gonzalez got that 4-run second going with a walk. The runners lead at second and third. They hand the pitch to Gonzalez, and Jose fouls one to the backstop. And the count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now 2-2 the count. Marine at third, Blackford at second. They hand the pitch, and Gonzalez lays off. Actually, the count was at 3-2, I beg your pardon. We've had a lot of issues with the scoreboard tonight, and again, I should be keeping track via a piece of paper. But that's ball 4, so Gonzalez, second time he has walked. And that loads him up now for Tanner Smith with a 5-0 Yolo lead. I think I'm going to just do that. We've had too much confusion tonight, and I admit I will apologize. I'm certainly a part of that with the ball strike indicator. And Spears now taking a little stroll off the back of the mound. The catcher Klimp out to talk to him. I cannot see from where I am whether or not there's any action in either bullpen. I'd have to think, though, with Spears laboring through this one, that there would be action in the Boise bullpen. So the bags are full for Tanner Smith, who homered his last time. And I think that's going to be all now for Spears. Gary Van Tol on his way to the mound. So Klimp went out, bought some time, and we're going to see a new pitcher. So Spears, who was so dominant in that game at Yolo, but not quite here this evening. So we have a pitching change. We are in the top of the fourth. Yolo 6, Boise nothing, 2 out, bases loaded. Back in a moment on YouTube Live. Well, bases loaded, and the new Boise pitcher is guy we saw last night in Cameron Dayton, or 2 nights ago in Cameron Dayton. Left-hander, and Dayton inherits the bags full and 2 out, 6-0 High Wheelers. And the first pitch to Tanner Smith is outside, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. And the runner at third is Marine, Blackford at second, Gonzalez at first. Smith 2 for 2 tonight, a single, a solo homer, an RBI, 2 runs scored. 6-0 High Wheelers, top of the 4th. And Dayton's 1-0, and Smith takes a strike on the outside corner. And that puts the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Dayton, 1 win, no losses, 26th appearance all out of the bullpen. ERA is at 4.97. And again, second appearance of this set. Ball and a strike. And Dayton high leg kick deals, and Smith swings, and he flies this one high in the air towards center field. Hughes is back, and the center fielder is there to make the catch. So Tanner Smith hit it to the wrong part of the ballpark there, straightaway center field, where it's 400 feet. He hit it about 395 feet, but he is retired. And the High Wheelers settle for the 1 run here in the 4th inning. So 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, and Yolo leaves them loaded. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It's Yolo 6 and Boise nothing on YouTube Live. Well, we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. 6-0 Yolo. Nick Klimp leads it off. Top of the Boise order for the second time. And the catcher takes a strike on the outside corner. And that moves the count to no balls and 1 strike. So Klimp, Viola, and Ulch as Klimp swings here. And a tapper foul back of the plate, and that's strike 2. And quickly, no balls and 2 strikes to Klimp, who grounded the second back in the first inning. So Yolo up 6-0. Bottom of the 4th. So far, 3 perfect innings for Brandon Mitchell. So we'll see what happens here the second time through the order. For Klimp, who grips the bat right on the end, right on the knob essentially. The 1-2 on the way, and that slap foul up along first. And the count remains at no balls and 2 strikes. So after Braden Spears pitched so well at Yolo last week, not the case tonight, as the High Wheelers knocked him out in the 4th inning. 6-0 High Wheelers, and the pitch, and Klimp, a broken bat pop-up, shallow left, backpedaling the shortstop Marine, and in shallow left he makes the easy catch, and Klimp is out. So he jammed Klimp there. So Klimp, he really went 0 for 2 within 1 at bat. Loses a bat and loses the out. But as we all know, officially now 0 for 2. So one down, and now it's Troy Viola who digs in. So Spears tonight for Boise, 3 2/3 innings. Allowed 5 hits, 6 runs all earned. 3 walks, no strikeouts. Hit 2 batters, allowed a homer, and offered a wild pitch. Now it's Viola who swings, and a foul to the backstop, strike 1. And the count is at no balls and 1 strike to Viola with a 6-0 Yolo advantage. Bottom of the 4th. As Brandon Mitchell works out of the windup. And the 0-1, and that's outside, ball 1. Now the count moves to 1 ball and 1 strike from Mitchell, who grew up in pretty much the inner city of Houston, went to Elsick High School. The 1-1, and Viola goes down for this one, and he flies it high in the air toward right field. Tanner Smith waiting for the baseball, and Tanner is there to make the catch. And Viola is the second out here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. And the lead for the Yolo High Wheelers is at 6-0. So Mitchell now 11 in a row, set down to get his night cooking. And now it's Nick Olch, who's 0 for 1, the new Boise Hawk, and he takes outside, ball 1. And the count moves to 1 ball and 1 strike to Olch. And just coming over in a trade with the Ogden Raptors today, as he takes a big swing and a miss. And that is strike 1. And the count now at 1 ball and 1 strike to Olch. 6-0 High Wheelers, and Olch takes low, ball 2. So 2 balls and no strikes to Olch, who was born in the Bay Area. He was born in the East Bay, was born in Richmond, and then went on to college in the Northwest at UPS, University of Puget Sound. 2-strike pitch, or the 1-strike pitch, swing and a miss, strike 2. So that was the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Olch spent 3 seasons playing for the Loggers, Division III program in the Northwest Conference. University of Puget Sound, located in Tacoma. So 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Yolo 6, Boise nothing. Bottom of the 4th inning as Mitchell winds, and the pitch, and Olch swings, and a tapper on the grass toward short. It's charged by the shortstop in Marine, and he will throw to the first baseman Gonzalez in time. And Olch is out, and 4 perfect innings now for Brandon Mitchell. So the High Wheelers doing it on both sides of the ball here tonight. And let me correct, I said Marine charged. Blackford, I don't know what I'm talking about. Blackford, the third baseman, charged, got that ball. And I saw Marine charge in. Blackford cut in front of him. So Braden Blackford, the third baseman, charging on the grass, throwing to Gonzalez at first. So Olch is out 5-3 on the play there. So 4 perfect innings now for Brandon Mitchell. No runs, no hits, no errors. No one left. We go to the 5th. It's Yolo 6 and Boise nothing on YouTube Live. On to the top of the 5th inning. David Glancy leads it off with the first pitch from Cameron Dayton. Swing and a miss, strike 1. No balls and a strike. Glancy, Banks, and Bates, 6, 7, and 8. 6-0 High Wheelers, and Glancy swings, and he flies one toward right center field. But to his left, it's the center fielder Hughes who will get there to make the catch. And Glancy is retired for the first time tonight. One out. Top of the 5th inning. 6-0 Yolo. 6 runs, 5 hits, and no errors for the High Wheelers. Nothing going on so far for Boise. No runs, no hits, no errors, no base runners. Well, Glancy had an RBI infield hit. In fact, he had the first RBI tonight, got the first run in back in the 2nd inning. Now it's Kirkland Banks who lines this ball to short, right at the shortstop Minder. Nice play there by Trevor Minder. And Banks is out, so twice Banks is lined out to the middle infielders. Lined out to second in the 2nd, and now lines out to short here in the 5th. Quickly 2 up, 2 down. Top of the 5th inning. It's Yolo 6 and Boise nothing. Mentioned Cameron Dayton came on last inning in relief of Braden Spears. Dayton, who went to Seattle University, 23 years old, grew up in Round Rock, Texas. Now it's the designated hitter, Ethan Bates, who had a 2-run single in the 2nd, and he looks inside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. The windup and the 1-0, and Bates takes outside, and that's ball 2. So it counts now at 2 balls and no strikes. The windup and the pitch, and Bates takes a breaking ball for a strike on the inside corner. So 2-1 the count from Dayton. 3-quarter windup and the pitch, and Bates a big swing and a foul to the screen. And that's strike 2. And the count moves now to 2 balls and 2 strikes. So again, Billy Orton telling me last week that it wasn't going to be an everyday thing, but usually once or twice a series he'd see Bates the DH as he swings here and drives one towards center, and that's going to get down a base hit. So Ethan Bates, that is his 2nd hit tonight, as the center fielder Hughes moving to his right up with the baseball, gets it in towards second. 6 hits for Yolo, 6-0 Yolo leading Boise. Top of the 5th. Now maybe we'll see it more than once or perhaps twice in a series to see Bates come up. He's got 3 hits now, 2 tonight, and then 1 in the other game where he DH'd. Where the former 2-way player at Louisiana Tech, now Angel Mendoza, swings at the first pitch and fouls it off right side, strike 1. And the count's at no balls and 1 strike. Mentioned Dayton 1-0 this year, 26th game for him all out of the bullpen, his first pro year. He's got a couple of saves. Pitched 2 seasons at Seattle U, including this year. Back-to-back years for the Red Hawks that he pitched in exactly 25 games for Cameron Dayton. Count to Mendoza's at 0-1. Bates at first, not likely to take off. And the pitch, and Mendoza looks at strike 2 on the inside corner. And the count is now at no balls and 2 strikes. Mendoza part of that 4-run second with an RBI triple. He's also been hit with a pitch and has scored. 6-0 Yolo, top of the 5th. And Dayton, third base side of the rubber, delivers. And Mendoza chased that one well out of the zone, up and away, strike 3. And he is out. First strikeout for Dayton. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a runner left. Halfway done, we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Yolo 6 and Boise nothing on YouTube Live. Halfway done as we go to the bottom of the fifth inning. From Boise, Idaho, it is Yolo 6, Boise nothing. Brandon Mitchell, 4 perfect innings tonight. Micah Yonamine leads it off. And the first pitch to Yonamine is hit high in the air toward right field. Smith is there crossing the line, and Tanner Smith makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out. So Smith moving far to his left and just inside the foul line, which means fair ball. And Yonamine is out. So Mitchell with a 6-0 lead, top of the 5th inning, says thank you there. So 4 1/3 perfect innings now for Brandon Mitchell, 1 out. So it's Yonamine, Marino, and Minder, 4, 5, and 6. Yonamine now 0 for 2, and now it's Patrick Marino who flied to center his first time. And the pitch from Mitchell, and Marino a foul to the backstop, strike 1. And that moves the count to no balls and a strike. Outfield fairly deep and straight away. Yolo 6, Boise nothing. And the pitch on the way, and Marino takes, and that is outside, ball 1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to count. And Marino swings here, and a tapper on the grass toward first, gloved by the first baseman Gonzalez, and he'll just toss the ball over to the pitcher Mitchell on his way over to the bag. And Brandon Mitchell, the pitcher, steps on first, and Marino is out. So 3-1 on that play. Marino now 0 for 2. So 2 up and 2 down. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. 6-0 Yolo. 6 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the High Whalers, and so far still nothing for Boise. No runs, no hits, no errors, no base runners for the first 14 batters who've come up for the Hawks. And now it's Trevor Minder, and he looks low and in, ball 1 from Brandon Mitchell. So the count's at 1 ball and no strikes. Minder grounded to second base his first time. So the High Whalers with 4 in the second, a run in the third, a run in the fourth. And the 1-0 pitch, and Minder swats one high in the air, foul right side, strike 1. And the count of 1 ball and 1 strike. So Mitchell lost his last start at home August 24th against Boise last Saturday. And the 1-1 pitch, and Minder drives one foul right side, strike 2. A ball and 2 strikes, 6-0 Yolo, top of the 5th inning. Now Mitchell had won his prior outing. That was at Grand Junction. The 1-2, low and in, ball 2. So the count moves down to 2 balls and 2 strikes. So you look at the starting staff. 3 of the original 5 starters, original meaning from the start of the season for Yolo, still pretty much the meat and potatoes of the rotation. The kick in the 2-2, and that's right down the middle, strike 3. And Mitchell is out. 5 perfect innings now for Brandon Mitchell with 4 strikeouts. So just going to allude to Mitchell, Cameron Rapetti, Brandon McPherson. Of course, Ben Ferrer, who's really been, some would argue, the best pitcher of the starters. Remember, Ferrer didn't jump into the rotation until June. So nothing across. We go to the 6th. It is still Yolo 6 and Boise nothing on YouTube Live. On to the sixth inning. Yolo 6, Boise nothing. Top of the Yolo order for the fourth time for the center fielder, Braylon Skinner, and he takes a strike from Cameron Dayton, strike 1, 0-1. And the next pitch bunted up on grass, first base side. Dayton quickly off the hill, up with the ball, and flip it to the first baseman, Yonamine. And Skinner is out, one away. So Skinner now 0 for 3 tonight, and he's picked on just about every possible infielder. He's grounded to second, he's grounded to first unassisted. Sacrifice bunt, which the third baseman fielded, and now picks on the pitcher, who throws the Yonamine at first. Picked on the pitcher, Dayton, who threw the Yonamine at first. So I guess next time up, he'll hit the ball to shortstop. Now it's Marine, who's 0 for 2 with a walk, and he takes one all the way to the backstop, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Marine 0 for 2 with a walk. 6-0 Yolo. Cameron Dayton came on in the fourth inning in relief of Braden Spears. There's the 1-0 pitch, low ball 2. So 2 balls and no strikes. 6 runs, 6 hits, no errors for Yolo. No runs, no hits, no errors. So far, no base runners for Boise. 2-0 pitch, and that's in the dirt, ball 3. And it's now 3 balls and no strikes to Braylon Marine. So Brandon Mitchell, 5 perfect innings so far tonight, with 4 strikeouts for the High Wheelers. Is the 3-0 here, and that's taken right down the middle, strike 1. And the count's at 3 balls and 1 strike to the third best hitter in the league in terms of average, and Braylon Marine with 383 as he takes strike 2 on the outside corner. And the count's now at 3 balls and 2 strikes to Marine, with Braden Blackford on deck. Infield back, outfield back, and the pitch, and Marine swings and slaps one past the shortstop Minder. And on to the left field, a base hit. So Marine adds to his average. Now 1 for 3 tonight as the left fielder Marino up with the baseball. Gets it back in towards second base. And Braylon Marine is the runner at first. Got to watch Marine's speed. Braylon, 23 steals this year, and he has been caught 5 times. And now it's Braden Blackford to face Cameron Dayton. Blackford 1 for 3, an RBI single to center in the fourth inning. So Yolo 6 and Boise nothing. Yolo's won 2 out of the first 3 games of this series. And the pitch to Blackford, and that's popped up down the third base side and foul, strike 1. And that puts the count at no balls and 1 strike. Talking before about Braylon Marine coming into tonight, 3rd in the league in hitting. Mike Rosario of Missoula leads the league at 402. Adam Fogel of Missoula, 2nd at 395. Marine at first. And the no ball, 1 strike pitch, and Blackford pops this one down the left field side, foul, strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes. Just about complete darkness in Boise on this Friday night. Another good crowd here. We've had, mentioned the capacity here, 3,452. We had paid crowds of 3,477 last night, 3,614 on Wednesday, and then Tuesday, 3,754. 0-2 to Blackford. Tapper foul up along first. Count remains at no balls and 2 strikes. Beautiful view of the mountains here in the Boise area. We are in the capital of Idaho, capital right downtown. Can't miss it. Yeah, so really unique name. Mentioned you can see the mountains out in the distance. Really unique name to the mountains here. They're called the Boise Mountains. 0-2 pitch, and Blackford swings and rips one down the right field side. That's going to get down for a base hit. The right fielder Marcelo to his left up with the ball in the direction of the line. Going first to third is Marine. Blackford holds with a single to right. And that is his 2nd hit tonight as Marcelo's throw comes in towards second. And it's 1st and 3rd and 1 out for the High Wheelers, up 6-0. High Wheelers now with 8 hits. And now it's Jose Gonzalez, who is 0 for 1, but he has walked twice and has scored a run. Yeah, the Boise Mountains, I mean, those are just a real original name, being that we are, well, here in Boise. I mean, it's, not like the mountains are really referred to as anything else, just the Boise Mountains. Now Gonzalez, and he takes low ball one. 1 ball and no strikes. I guess the folks in Boise couldn't get a corporate sponsor to name those mountains, so I guess that's why they're just sticking with the Boise Mountains. No balls and a strike to count. Runners at the corners, and Cameron Dayton's pitch, and Gonzalez hits one in the air. Foul left side, strike 2-0-2. You know, that'll be the next thing with corporate partnerships. You know, now you see, you know, corporate logos on uniforms and, you know, on basketball courts and on ice rinks and all that. That'll be the next thing. Well, we don't really have a particular name for those mountains out there, so somebody will be able to buy the rights. It'll be, you know, corporate name. 2-strike pitch, and Gonzalez chases that one and misses it. Actually, the count was at 0-1. So Gonzalez missed that one. That's strike 2. I guess the count was at 1-1. So 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. 6-0 Yolo, and Gonzalez swings and a grounder foul up along first. Count holds at 1 ball and 2 strikes. So 1 and 2. We'll see if Blackford maybe takes off as the pitch, and that's low. And now Blackford will try and delay steal, and he's going to be out by a mile. Out with a slide. The pitch was low and away, and I think Blackford thought, well, you know what? I see the catcher Klemp holding onto the ball, and Blackford not the quickest guy in the world. And then press the waters, and he is out. That'll go as a caught stealing, 2-6. So 2 out now. 6-0 Yolo. Marine holds at third. Counts at 2-2. And now Gonzalez swings, and a chopper to first. Glove by Onamine, back to the bag. Easy underhand toss, the pitcher Dayton covering. 3-1 on the play there. And the High Wheelers are done just like that in the 6th inning. So from 2 on and 1 out to nobody scoring, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, 1 man left. On we go to the bottom half of the 6th. 6-0 Yolo leading Boise on YouTube Live. On we go to the bottom of the 6th inning tonight. Yolo 6, Boise nothing. This is Doug Greenwald. You're listening to the Yolo High Wheelers on YouTube Live. High Wheelers 6 runs, 8 hits, and no errors. And Boise, no runs, no hits, no errors, and still no base runners. So Brandon Mitchell out of the lineup, and the pitch to Tyner Hughes. And he flies this ball toward left center field. Pretty well struck. And this ball is off the wall. Played by Glancy, and Tyner Hughes will go into second base. And he has a leadoff double as the left fielder Glancy gets the ball in toward short. So Brandon Mitchell, well, it's tough to pitch a no-hitter. Tough to pitch a perfect game. But tip your cap to him. 5 perfect innings until now. So Hughes, a leadoff double. And now for the first time tonight, we're going to have to see Mitchell work out of the set position. So Hughes, Marcello, and Jorgensen here in the 6th inning. So Hughes at second. And now, finally a base runner tonight for Boise. Now it's Marcello who struck out looking his first time. And he chops this ball toward short. It's gloved by Marine, and he will throw to Gonzalez at first. Marcello is out. Hughes goes to third, but High Wheelers more than accepting of that, with a 6-0 lead in the bottom of the 6th to allow the runner to move on to third base. They'll trade the 90 feet for the out. 1 down. And now Tyler Jorgensen comes up for the second time. He struck out swinging in the 3rd inning. 6-0 Yolo, bottom of the 6th. And the pitch here, low and in ball, 1-0. And I realize the Hawks are on the doorstep right now of scoring a run. But Yolo pitchers have allowed just 4 runs in this series. So the first now 3.5 games is the next pitch, low, ball 1. Or ball, what is the count here? Ball 2, I should say. So 2 balls and no strikes. 2 runs in 8 innings the other night, 1 run in 9 innings in each of the last 2 nights. At the moment, so far, no runs in 5 innings tonight. The kick and the 2-0, and that's outside ball 3, 3-0. So 3 runs allowed in 31 innings in this series so far, or 4 runs allowed so far. 3 earned runs, but 4 runs overall in 31 innings in the games played in Boise. The kick and the 3-0, and that's outside ball 4, so Jorgensen works a walk from Mitchell. And it's first and third now with 1 away. 6-0 Yolo, and now for the 3rd time tonight, Boise will go to the top of its order for the center fielder, Nick Klemp. And I say center field, the catcher, Nick Klemp. Again, the catcher's in the leadoff spot tonight, and Klemp, he is 0 for 2. So Hughes at third, Jorgensen at first. The catcher, Klemp, digs in, with Yolo leading 6-0. So the double play in order right here, the forced double play in order. And the pitch to Klemp. And he made a motion at it and did not go around, ball 1. So the count is at 1 ball and no strikes. Outfield fairly deep straightaway. Middle infield looking to turn 2, and the pitch to Klemp, and that is low, ball 2 from Mitchell. 2 balls, no strikes, but that is really impressive. I mean, last night, or in each of the last 2 games, Boise scored 1 run in the first inning and didn't score after that. And then here on Tuesday night, Boise scored twice in the 4th inning, and well, that was good enough. They won the game 2-0. But Boise has only scored in 3 innings. I realize, you could have a 10-run inning. That'd be good enough. That might be good enough to hold you for 3 games. But where I'm going with this is obviously overall in this series so far, just 4 runs scored by Boise in 31 innings. The 2-0 here to Klemp. And that's up and away, ball 3, 3-0. Now, hard to believe, you think about the way Mitchell's pitched tonight. 5 perfect innings up until this point, up until the 6th. 6-0 Yolo, but a pitch away from loading the bases with a very powerful Yonamine on deck. 3-0 here, and that's down the middle, strike 1 to Klemp. 3-1. Very powerful Viola on deck, I should say. Well, Yonamine's powerful too, but Viola's the one on deck. 3 balls, no strikes. 3 balls, 1 strike. 3-1 the count. And the pitch, and Klemp swings and misses at a fastball in the inner half, strike 2, 3-2. And then, as I said, with all that said, Mitchell is 1 pitch away from getting a double play ball to get out of this inning. So Hughes is at third, Jorgensen's at first. And the 3-2 pitch. And Klemp looks at strike 3 on the inside corner, and he is out. So what a job by Mitchell. Had to work around a 3-ball count and gets Klemp to look at strike 3. So 2 away. 5th strikeout for Mitchell. 6-0 Yolo. And now it's Viola who comes up. Well, strikeouts in a game for Mitchell this year is 6. Did that August 6th in a no decision at Northern Colorado. So now it's Viola who will come to the plate. And Viola, he is 0 for 2 tonight. And the first pitch to Viola. And that is low outside, and the ball skips past the catcher Mendoza all the way to the screen. So Hughes will score. Jorgensen goes to second on the wild pitch. And it is now 6-1 in favor of the High Wheelers. So tough way there to lose the shutout. A wild pitch scoring Hughes. Meanwhile, the count is at 1 ball and no strikes to Troy Viola. And it was hitless in 2 tries tonight. So 6-0 Yolo. Bottom half of the
So
sixth inning.
Yolo could pick up an RBI here with the runner in scoring.
So Jorgensen at second base. Count to Viola is at now 1-2, and the pitch, fastball, swing and a miss, strike three, and he is out. We had a little technical glitch which had us miss a couple of pitches, but no harm done, fortunately. So it went from 1-0 to 1-2, and now Viola strikes out swinging, strike three, and he is out. So the 6 strikeouts for Mitchell now matches season high. 1 run here for Boise, a run, a hit, no errors, and a runner left. On to the 7th tonight from Idaho. It's Yolo 6 and Boise 1 on YouTube Live. We move on to the 7th inning this evening from Boise, Idaho. It is 6-1 in favor of Yolo. Doug Greenwald with you on YouTube Live. So the Hawks able to scratch a run and at least obviously a base runner or more in that 6th inning after Mitchell had gone 5 perfect innings. So we go on to the 7th inning. Yolo is leading 6-1. 6 runs, 8 hits, no errors for Yolo. For Boise, 1 run, 1 hit, and no errors. And Tanner Smith to lead it off, facing the new Boise pitcher in Emilio Alfonso, who got the save on Tuesday night here. And the first pitch is inside, ball 1 from the Venezuela native in Alfonso. 1 ball, no strike. So Smith, Clancy, and Banks 5, 6, and 7. Tanner is 2 for 3, a single, a homer. Couple of runs scored, an RBI. Outfield medium depth straightaway, 6-1 Yolo, top 7. And the pitch from Alfonso, and Smith swings, and he flies this one toward left field. Sends Marino going back, and he looks up, and it is gone. Tanner Smith, a 2-homer night. The Highwheelers get the run right back, and it's now 7-1 Yolo in the top half of the 7th. Well, Tanner Smith now 10 home runs this season. Now has 47 runs batted in. Smith, that's his second 2-homer game this year. You'll recall he had a 7 RBI 2-homer game at Northern Colorado on August 11th in a Yolo win. Now it's Clancy who takes a strike on the inside corner, 0-1. So Smith goes the opposite way. Now 3 for 4 tonight. Clancy's 1 for 2, an RBI single, a run scored. And he swings and misses at a breaking ball. And the count is at 1 ball and 1 strike. So they greet Alfonso with a home run. 7-1 Yolo as Glancy takes high ball 2. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Cameron Dayton tonight for the Boise Hawks. He lasted 2 1/3 innings, allowed 3 hits, no runs, no walks, and he struck out 1 as the pitch to Glancy low and in, ball 2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. So now 7-1 Yolo. Top half of the 7th inning. And the 2-ball, 2-strike pitch, and Glancy takes inside ball 3. So 3 balls and 2 strikes for Alfonso this year. 1 win, 3 losses, 6.91 ERA, 26th game, 23rd out of the bullpen. 3-2 the count. 7-1 High Wheelers, and the pitch, and Glancy looks on the inside corner. It's called strike 3. He's going to challenge that. And apparently he's taken off his shin guard and going to trot down to first. He wins the challenge. So instead of strike 3, it's ball 4. So Glancy draws a walk with nobody out. 3rd time he's been on base. A successful challenge there for the High Wheelers, who have a 7-1 lead in the top of the 7th. And now the second baseman bats, and Kirkland Banks. And he is 0 for 3 tonight. So Yolo 7, Boise 1. Top of the 7th inning. As Banks rests the bat on the left shoulder, and pitch taken inside. Now down to second base, or on his way down to second, a delayed steal there, Glancy, and he goes in with a slide. Throw it into center field, but no further advance. Ball backed up by the center fielder Hughes. A delayed steal there. Glancy just took right off as the catcher Klemp held on to the ball, and then that forced Klemp into a little bit of a frenzy. So the stolen base for Glancy is his 6th now in as many tries for the High Wheelers. So Glancy steals second. Meanwhile, it counts at 1 ball and no strikes to Kirkland Banks. So now, and I realize Yellow's got a 6-run lead, but Banks trying to at least get the run to the third, maybe a ground ball to the right side. Don't really see too many bunts up by 6 runs. The pitch on the way up and in. And that is ball 2 from Alfonso. So 2 balls and 1 strike from Emilio Alfonso. One of 2 Boise Hawks who has spent time in the Rays system. The other playing in this game right now, the left fielder, and Patrick Moreno. But Moreno's from Cuba. Alfonso from Venezuela. Emilio, 6'6", 170 pounds. He's 24 years old. First year with Boise after pitching at just the very low levels of the Rays system, about as low as you can get within organized baseball, the Dominican Summer League and also the Gulf Coast League. So 2 balls and no strikes the count to Banks. 7-1 Yolo. Top of the 7th inning. And the pitch on the way to Kirkland, and that's foul to the backstop, strike 1. So 2 balls and 1 strike the count. Doug Greenwald with you on YouTube Live. Glad you can join us on this Friday night from the capital of Idaho here in Boise. So 2-1 the count. As Banks waits. And the pitch, and he swings and misses at a high fastball. Foul tipped in the glove of the catcher, Klemp, strike 2, 2-2. Busy weekend of sports here in Boise, of course, with the what we would consider now the Week 1 kickoff to college football. Boise State opening tomorrow at home against Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern from the Sun Belt Conference. The pitch on the way, swing and a tapper on the ground toward, and folks, I can't even see where that ball was hit just on the angle we have. We're going to have to wait to get the call here. Charged by the shortstop, Minder, and he will throw to Yanamine at first. So Banks is out on the grounder to short, but a productive out. Moves Glancy to third base with 1 out. And now Ethan Bates comes up for the second time. He is 2 for 3, a couple of singles, including a 2-run hit in the second. He has also scored a run. So runner at third. Yeah, we are at the mercy of these very poor cameras here as Bates takes inside 1-0. And I apologize for passing the buck, but the camera has a close-up of the hitter. The hitter hits the ball, and then we don't see where the ball goes. We have an idea where the ball goes, and I have said something to somebody up in Boise who unfortunately doesn't have any control over the cameras there. Runner at third base, and Bates a big swing and a miss and a high fastball, strike one. So 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Ethan Bates. A chance for another RBI here. 2 balls and 1 strike to count, and the pitch. And that swung on and lifted high in the air toward left. Should be deep enough to get a run in. Moreno to his left. He makes the catch. Tagging from third is Glancy. He is on his way home, and he will score standing up. And it is now 8-1 Yolo. And Bates, that's his now 3rd RBI tonight. So his first 3 pro RBIs all in this game. He is now, as I said, 2 for 3 with a sac fly. So Glancy scores, and give Glancy credit with that steal. Give Banks credit with a productive out to shortstop. And you talk about a manufactured run right there. And remember, Glancy only reached because he won that 2-strike challenge, that full count challenge. He had been called out on strikes and then won the challenge. It was overturned to a ball / a walk. So now it's Mendoza. 8-1 Yolo, top of the 7th. And Angel takes a strike on the inside corner, 0-1. He's 1 for 2, an RBI triple. He's been hit with a pitch and has scored a run. So 8-1 now, High Wheelers, top half of the 7th inning. And Alfonso delivers, and Mendoza chases that pitch in the dirt, misses strike 2. So we count now at no balls and 2 strikes. So 8 runs, 9 hits, no errors for Yolo. 1 run, 1 hit, and no errors for Boise. Complete darkness now in Boise on this Friday night. Top of the 7th inning. Yolo 8 and Boise 1. And the 2-strike pitch to Mendoza, low for a ball. And the count's at 1-2. Mendoza, part of that 4-run second inning with the RBI triple. So 8-1 High Wheelers. Looking to pick up another game on Boise. 1-2. And the pitch low outside, 2-2. And I realize, folks, there's still 3 more innings to go tonight. I mean, 3 more chances for Boise. I realize that. But Yolo up 8-1 here. And if they should win tonight, they'd go to 2 games up over Boise for that second place wild card. Or that second place playoff spot, not really a wild card. 2-2 on the way. Strike 3 called inside corner. And Mendoza strikes out for the second time. Once looking, now swinging. First strikeout for Alfonso. Smith, the leadoff homer. Glancy, a walk, a steal. Productive out Banks. Sac fly by Bates. 2 runs, 1 hit. No errors. Nobody left. Stretch time in Boise. We go to the bottom half of the 7th. Yolo 8 and Boise 1 on YouTube Live. Stretch time from Boise. We go to the bottom of the 7th. 8-1, Yolo out in front. And Nick Olch leads it off, and he takes a strike on the inside corner. No balls and a strike from Brandon Mitchell, who's been in from the start. It's Olch, Yonamine, and Marino. 3, 4, and 5 with an 8-1 Yolo lead. And the pitch here, swing, and a little tapper right out in front of the mound off the hill. Mitchell up with a baseball, whirls around and throws to Gonzalez at first. And Olch is out, 1 up and 1 down to get the 7th inning cooking, the bottom of the 7th going. So Olch in his first game as a Boise Hawk after the last couple of years, including this year with Ogden, team that will not be going to the playoffs. He is out, 1 down, and now it's Yonamine. And he is hitless in 2 tries tonight. And the first pitch to Yonamine, and that is inside ball 1 from Mitchell, 1-0. Yonamine 0 for 2. I think I just said that. The pitch on the way. And Micah takes outside for a ball. So that moves the count to 2 balls and no strikes. So Mitchell so far tonight, 6 1/3 innings. The most innings he's worked this year is 7. Did that July 5th at Oakland, a game he and the High Wheelers won by what was the score in that one? By a count of 8-4. Back on July 5th. 8-1 Yolo right here. And the pitch to Yonamine is outside for a ball. Now what is the count here? I believe it's 2 balls and a strike with Marino on deck. 8-1 Yolo. As the windup and the pitch. And Yonamine swings and misses, strike 3. Pitch to count was actually a 2-2. So Yonamine strikes out for the second time. Once looking, now swinging. 7th strikeout for Mitchell. So that is a career high for him as a professional pitcher, and Brandon Mitchell. So 2 out. And Mitchell, his first 5 innings tonight were perfect. Ran into a little trouble in the 6th, gave up a run, but so far gets the first 2 outs here in the 7th. And now it's Marino who's 0 for 2. He's fly to center. He's ground to first with the pitcher covering, and he swings, and he flies this one to right field. Smith over to his right, and he has to play that one on a hop, a base hit. So Marino able to find some real estate out there, has a bloop single to right. He is 1 for 3 as the right fielder Smith gets the ball in towards second. And now it's the shortstop and Trevor Minder who bats. Second hit for the Hawks tonight, but it is 8-1 Yolo. Bottom of the 7th. So now we'll see Mitchell back out of the set position. So you have, never even picked up on this, but last time out, yeah, and I'm wondering if these two might have faced each other in college. Mitchell at the University of New Orleans and Minder at Tulane. As, of course, those two schools right there in the Big Easy in New Orleans. The pitch on the way to Minder, swing and a miss, high fastball, strike 1. And the count is at no balls and 1 strike. 0-1 the count to Mitchell, and Vilsic High School would be brought in for high school playoff games if need be to place kick as the 0-1, and that's called strike 2 on the outside corner. So no balls and 2 strikes to count. Most strikeouts in a game in college for Mitchell was 11. Did that his senior year against Brown. Game that was played at the University of New Orleans. That heated baseball rivalry that is Brown against New Orleans. Yolo 8, Boise 1, bottom 7. 1 on, 2 out, and Minder is swinging a foul to the backstop, strike 2. Well, the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. I'm looking it up here. Mitchell never did face Tulane in 2023. And who knows if those teams even played each other anyway. Yeah, Mitchell didn't face Tulane at all in 2022. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and the pitch outside, ball 3. And now 3 balls and 2 strikes to Minder. Marino goes, and the pitch popped up foul down the right field side. And the count remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes from Mitchell, who also played tennis in high school. Good, well-rounded athlete. And Brandon Mitchell. 8-1 Yolo, bottom of the 7th. Minder is 0 for 2. And Mitchell from the set. Kicks, Marino goes, and the pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. High fastball gets Minder. He strikes out for the second time tonight. Once looking, now swinging. 8 strikeouts, adding to Mitchell's professional best in 1 game. 1 hit, 1 left. We go to the 8th, 8-1. Yolo leading Boise on YouTube Live. Moving along to the top half of inning number 8, it's Yolo 8 and Boise 1. This is Doug Greenwald. You're listening to the Yolo High Wheelers on YouTube Live. Top of the Yolo order up for the 5th time now for the center fielder, Braylon Skinner. Then it's Marine and Blackford. And the pitch on the way to Skinner. Breaking ball, swing and a miss, strike 1. And the count's at no balls and 1 strike. So it's Skinner, Marine, Blackford to face Emilio Alfonso, who came on last inning, gave up the home run to Tanner Smith, one of 2 Smith homers tonight. Skinner is 0 for 3 with a sacrifice bunt, and he looks low ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. So Skinner and Banks are the only high wheelers in the lineup who have not reached base tonight. Last night for Yolo, everybody in the lineup had reached base as the 2-0 pitch outside ball 3. So, count is now at 3 balls, no strikes. Let me correct that. 2 nights ago, everybody had reached base safely. Last night, not everybody did. So, 2 nights ago. 3-0 pitch. Well, that swung on and slapped to third. In on the grass, Viola up with the baseball, and he will throw to Yonamine at first. And Skinner is out. 1 away. Top of the 8th inning. Yolo 8 and Boise 1. And now Braylon Marine digs in. He is 1 for 3, a walk and a single. So for Yolo, 8 runs, 9 hits, and no errors. Boise, 1 run, 2 hits, and no errors. And the pitch on the way to Skinner, and that's outside, or to a Marine is outside, ball 1, 1-0. How about this? Mentioned Skinner just grounded out again. That's the 5th time tonight he's hit the ball to an infielder. And I define the pitcher as an infielder because once the pitcher releases the ball, he becomes an infielder. There's the pitch here, tap foul up along third, strike 2, 0-2. So Skinner has grounded to second. He's grounded to first. He's had a sacrifice bunt to third, a comebacker, meaning to the pitcher, and then a regular old ground ball to third. Marine swings here, slaps this one to shortstop, gobbled up by Minder in a few feet, throws off line, but the first baseman, Yonamine, comes off the bag to the home plate side of first and tags out Marine going by. So Marine 3 times tonight, he's grounded to shortstop. So sort of funny, Skinner tonight has grounded everybody but the shortstop. And then Marine has grounded 3 times to the shortstop, Minder. So Marine now 1 for 4 this evening, and now it's Braden Blackford who digs in with an 8-1 Yolo lead. Top of the 8th inning. Braden is 2 for 4, a couple of singles, including an RBI hit. For Blackford, who, as he normally does, shortens his gray pants up to his knees. So he takes outside 1-0. Yolo in the alternate tops tonight, the button-down black shirts, gray pants. The Yolo High Wheeler logo on the left side of the shirt. Orange number on both sides, going with the black cap with the High Wheeler logo on the front of it. Pitch on the way to Blackford, and that's up and away, 2-0. Boise, the button-down white shirts. Hawk spelled across the front in green. Green number on the back of the shirt. The Boise logo on the white right sleeve. That's the claw of the hawk gripping a baseball, going with the green caps tonight. The kick and the pitch, and Blackford swings, and a foul at the plate. Count is at, again, guessing here, I believe it 2 balls and 2 strikes to Blackford. With Jose Gonzalez on deck. So Yolo 8, Boise 1. Mention if Yolo wins tonight, they'll then go 2 games up over Boise for that second place playoff spot in the Pioneer League. 2-2 is outside. It's ball 3 to Blackford. 3-2. And remember, Yolo, if these teams should finish in a tie at the end of next Sunday, I don't mean this upcoming Sunday, but meaning September 8th, if these teams finish in a tie for that second playoff spot, Yolo has clinched the head-to-head. Yolo leads the season series 7-2 over Boise. The top of the 8th inning here. It is 8-1 Yolo. And Alfonso from the set kicks and the pitch, and Blackford takes a breaking ball. Strike 2 called outside corner. So now it's 3-2 to Blackford. And Missoula has already clinched the number 1 seed for the playoffs. They'll have the best overall record. Glacier is in the playoffs. We just don't know what seed they'll have because they finished second in the first half. Pitch to Blackford, big swing, foul to the backstop. And the count remains full at 3-2 with the High Wheelers leading the Hawks 8-1. Top of the 8th inning, and then we'll see how it plays out the rest of the way. Oakland, a first place standing in the second half, 2 games ahead of Yolo. Coming into tonight, 3 over Boise. The pitch on the way, and Blackford takes way outside. That's ball 4. So he's on base for the 3rd time tonight. Second walk allowed by Alfonso. Yolo 8 and Boise 1. Top of the 8th inning, and now Jose Gonzalez digs in. How about Oakland last night holding off Idaho Falls 1-0? Can't imagine there have been too many 1-0 games over at Raimondi Park. Well, the High Wheelers get home next Tuesday, September 3rd. And we'll see Oakland for the final 6, so buckle up for that. Now it's Gonzalez, and he takes outside ball 1. Well, 1 ball and no strikes. Jose is 0 for 2. He's walked twice, and he takes a breaking pitch for a strike on the outside corner. Well, 1 ball and 1 strike to count. I mean, who knows where things will be in the standings even in the next couple of days. Now, Boise, this is their final regular season homestand. They go to Great Falls during the season. As the 1-1 is outside ball 2. 2-1. Great Falls will not be going to the playoffs, so that in a way will be like Great Falls playoff series, a chance to try to knock out the Hawks. Blackford at first, the pitch, and Gonzalez swings, and he rips this ball into right field, a base hit. Up to second is Blackford, and Gonzalez has his first hit tonight. 3 more times Gonzalez has been on base this evening. So it's first and second now as the right fielder Marcelo gets the ball in towards second. And now it's Tanner Smith, who is 3 for 4 with a single, a pair of solo homers, and 2 runs batted in. 10 hits now for the High Wheelers. go along with an 8-1 lead. So Smith in his 2-homer game tonight. That's his second 2-homer game this year. As the pitch on the way is a strike on the inside corner, 1-1. I know I alluded to it right after Smith had homered last time, but August 11th at Northern Colorado, a pair of 3-run homers in that game. To go along with another RBI hit, he had 7 RBIs in that one, which matches Bobby Leday and Kirkland Banks for most RBIs, and matches Bobby Leday and Braylon Skinner for most RBIs in a game this year for Yolo. 8-1 here, Yolo, and the pitch, and that is taken low for a ball. Count to Smith is at 1 ball and 1 strike, with David Glancy on deck. So Blackford's at second, Gonzalez is at first. Highwheelers 8, Hawks 1. 2 on, 2 out, top of the 8th. And the 1-1 to Tanner, and that it's called a ball. That's going to be challenged by the catcher Klemp. And I believe that's been overturned to a strike. So 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. So Tanner Smith, and the pitch, and Tanner made a motion but takes low. That's ball 3. So count is at, I'm not sure if the count is at 3-2 or 2-2. If it's 3-2, the runners will be off automatically. If it's 2-2, they won't be. Or I highly doubt they would be on 2-2. As Alfonso from the set delivers, and the 2-2 pitch, and that is outside ball 3. So now it is 3-2. So now the runner's ready to go. So Blackford from second, Gonzalez from first. So 3 balls, 2 strikes the count. Top of the 8th inning. Highwheelers 8, Hawks 1. Alfonso set, the runners go, and Smith takes strike 3 on the outside corner. Breaking ball there gets him, and he is down on strikes for the first time tonight. Second strikeout for Alfonso. 1 hit, 2 left, onto the bottom of the 8th. 8-1, Yolo leads Boise on YouTube Live. Baseball, they just stand around and react. You guys are always moving. On we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. It is Yolo 8 and Boise 1. And Tyner Hughes leads it off. And the first pitch on the way to Hughes. And that's popped up high and foul left side from Brandon Mitchell, who started this game and is still working this one. And the count's at no balls and 1 strike. So it's Hughes, Marcello, and Jorgensen. Bottom third of the order for the Hawks. Hughes, well, he got the first hit and was the first base runner tonight for Boise in the 6th inning after Mitchell had set down the first 15. And the pitch on the way to Hughes inside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Hughes doubled and has scored the only Hawks run tonight. Bottom of the 8th inning, 8-1 Yolo. The windup and the pitch. And Hughes goes down for this one, and he flies this toward right center field. On the run is Smith. Diving effort, can't get it. Nice effort by Tanner. Ball backed up by the center fielder Skinner, moving to his left. And Hughes holds with a single. So he opens the 6th with a double, opens the 8th inning, the bottom of the 8th with a single to right. So Hughes now 2 for 3. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Noah Marcello. So 7+ innings tonight for Mitchell. Again, that matches his season high. We talked about that when he went that distance in Oakland earlier in July, very early July. Now it's Marcello 0 for 2. And he takes outside ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and no strikes to Noah Marcello as Mitchell from the belt delivers and Marcello takes, and that's a strike on the inner half. And the count is at 1 ball and 1 strike. So Doug Greenwald with you here on YouTube Live. So 1-1 the count. So Marcello. Hughes probably not going to be going anywhere with his team down by 7 runs. As Marcello takes a strike on the inside corner. Well, the count is at 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count and the pitch, and Marcello swings. And he rips this one in the left field, a base hit. Hughes up to second base, and Marcello has his first hit tonight. So he is now 1 for 3. Back-to-back singles for Boise to get the bottom of the 8th cooking with Yolo up 8-1. And we'll see if this is going to be all for Mitchell. He certainly pitched very well tonight with, for the most part, has been a comfortable lead. Well, actually, it won't be all. Jerome Williams, the pitching coach, is out to talk to him. It's not Billy Horton. So, again, we cannot see if anybody is warming up in the bullpen. I'd have to think, though, by now somebody is. I think Mitchell Williams just out there just to give a breather to Brandon Mitchell. Talked to Jerome after the game last night. We're talking about the great starting pitching Yolo has had over the last few games. And Williams was talking about the recent success of the starters. Jerome said the starters have been attacking hitters early and getting quick outs. That sets up our bullpen to do their job. Well, I mean, I guess one feeds off the others. Jerome talking about. I mean, the bullpen, 25 2/3 consecutive innings without allowing an earned run. And we've talked about the success the starters have had in this series. I mentioned that earlier. Now it's Jorgensen, and he looks inside, ball 1 from Brandon Mitchell. So 1 ball and no strikes. Yolo 8, Boise 1. Bottom half of the 8th inning. With Hughes at second and Marcello at first. And the pitch, and Jorgensen takes inside, ball 2. So the count's now at 2 balls and no strikes. Jorgensen, grew up in Gilbert, Arizona, east of Phoenix. Mitchell looks back at second, and the 2-0. And that's right down the middle, called strike 1. And that moves the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1 the count. Jorgensen has struck out swinging, he's walked. And the pitch, and that slap foul left side, strike 2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes now. So Hughes at second, Marcello at first, and Mitchell ready to go. His 2-2 pitch, And Jorgensen swings and slaps this ball to third. Blackford to his left, goes to Banks at second for one. On to first, not in time. The ball was not handled anyway by the first baseman Gonzalez, but Jorgensen was going to beat it out anyway. So Hughes goes to third. Marcello is forced at second, 5-4. Jorgensen, he is now 0 for 2. So it's first and third and one out. So now 7 1/3 innings for Mitchell, so that is the most he has worked in a game this year. And now for the fourth time tonight, Boise will go to the top of its order for the catcher Nick Klemp, and he is 0 for 3. And Mitchell delivers, and Klemp's swing and a miss at a fastball, strike one. And the count is a no balls and one strike. So 8-1 Yolo. Bottom of the eighth, and Klemp takes, and that is high for a ball. One ball and one strike the count to Klemp. So 1-1. So Hughes at third, Jorgensen at first, and the pitch to Klemp, and he pops it up. First base side, foul ground, and out of play. That is strike two. So no balls and two strikes the count to the University of Portland pilot in Nick Klemp. We saw with the Northern Colorado, one of the infielders I recall was a former Portland pilot. As a two-strike pitch slap foul up along first again. Count stays at no balls and two strikes. Look that one up here. Was Evan Scavato. That's the other Portland pilot we have seen in the Pioneer League this season. Runners at the corners, and the 0-2 pitch. And Klemp looks at strike three on the inside corner, and he is out. So Klemp, who pretty much has had his way over the two series now against Yolo, mentioned 14 hits for Klemp, but he's in the leadoff spot tonight, but 0 for 4 now. Again, Michael O'Hara, who normally leads off and plays either left or center, he is not in the lineup tonight, so they move the contact hitting Klemp, and the catcher does have some wheels in Klemp to the leadoff spot. But no hits tonight for Klemp at the moment. 9 strikeouts for Mitchell, adding to his career and pro career best. Now it's Viola 0 for 3, and he swings at the first pitch, and he pops this one up, shallow right field, and backpedaling to make the catch is the second baseman, Kirkland Banks. Viola is out. He's 0 for 4. And Boise, who at first and second and nobody out, does not score an 8. Very good innings tonight for Brandon Mitchell. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left. We have reached the ninth with the score. 8-1, Yolo out in front over Boise on YouTube Live. We go to the ninth inning. Yolo 8 and Boise 1. Doug Greenwald with you on YouTube Live. And it'll be David Glancy to lead it off against the new Boise pitcher, Michael Esposito, who we saw in Davis a couple of times. And the first pitch is taken outside, ball 1. And the count is at 1 ball and no strikes. It's Glancy, Banks, and Bates. 6, 7, and 8. And Glancy takes the 1-0 pitch, high, ball 2. So 2 balls and no strikes the count from Esposito, who spent 1 season at the University of South Carolina. He grew up on Long Island, up in the New York City area. Glancy, who went to college not far from where Esposito grew up. Glancy went to St. John's and grew up in Central New Jersey. Takes inside for a ball. So now 3 balls and no strikes to Glancy. 8-1 Yolo. Esposito delivers, and Glancy looks at a strike on the outer half. 3-1 Glancy tonight. 1 for 2. An infield hit, a walk, a stolen base, an RBI, a couple of runs scored. So he's done a little bit of everything. The kick in the 3-1. That's way outside, ball 4. So Glancy now on base for the 4th time tonight. And now here is the second baseman in Kirkland Banks. And he is 0 for 4. So Emilio Alfonso this evening for the Boise Hawks worked 2 innings, issued 2 hits, allowed 2 runs, both earned. He walked 2 and struck out 2. Gave up 1 home run. When you're talking about poker numbers or casino numbers right there for Alfonso. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. I don't know how many twos that is, but 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 runs earned, 2 innings, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Now Banks swings and he flies one toward right center field, taking it from the gap. That's going to get down and go all the way to the wall. Glancing on his way to third. Billy Horton will wave him home, and Banks will stop at second with an RBI stand-up double. And it's 9-1 in favor of the High Wheelers here in the top of the 9th inning. So Kirkland Banks, sure a sigh of relief after just about everybody else in the lineup had reached base tonight. Now it falls on Skinner, who hasn't reached base, but Kirkland Banks an RBI double, so now 9-1 in favor of Yolo. RBI for Kirkland Banks is his 37th this year. And now it's Ethan Bates. And he swings at the first pitch and misses strike 1. No balls and a strike, so still nobody out. Bates, 2 for 3, 2 singles, 3 RBIs and a run scored. 9-1 Yolo, top of the 9th inning. And the pitch on the way to Bates, and that is low, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 11 hits now for the High Wheelers. Esposito is the 4th Boise pitcher tonight. Banks at second and the pitch, and Bates takes, and that's at the knees for a strike 1 and 2. Normally I would mention that this would be a situation for Bates to at least get a ground ball to the right side, anything to get Banks over to third with less than 2 out, but Yolo up 9-1, not necessarily playing for a productive out here. The top of the 9th, the pitch on the way, and that's low outside, ball 2 to Bates. So the count's now with 2 balls and 2 strikes. Twice tonight, the High Wheelers have taken advantage of a leadoff walk and have turned that into some runs. The pitch on the way, high, ball 3. So 3 and 2. And in a weird way, I could also say the same thing about the 7th inning. After Tanner Smith led off with a home run, then Glancy after that in a way sort of becomes the second leadoff guy, and he walked, and that set up a run. The 3-2 here, and Bates swings, and he drives this one towards center. To his left to make the catch, Hughes. Tagging from second is Banks, and he'll go in there standing up as the throw comes in on 1 hop. So Bates, even though it doesn't go down as a sacrifice, but it is a fly ball, productive out to center. So Banks moves to third with 1 out. A 9-1 Yolo lead over Boise. And now Angel Mendoza will come up. The infield is in, and the pitch, and that is inside for a ball to Mendoza. So 1 ball and no strikes. Angel, part of that 4-run second inning with an RBI triple. He's 1 for 3 tonight. He's also been hit with a pitch and has scored a run. 9-1 High Wheelers, and the pitch, and Mendoza swinging a pop-up foul right side. So no balls and 2 strikes the count from Michael Esposito. I said we saw him last week in Davis. There's the pitch to Mendoza, and that's a strike on the inner half. Actually, the count was at 1-1, so now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes from Esposito. 5'10", 190 pounds. He was born in the Atlanta area. I mentioned played 1 season at the University of South Carolina, and then prior to that had gone to Longwood University, which is in Virginia. So the count is at 1 ball and 2 strikes, and the pitch, and Mendoza swings, and he drives this one down the right field side. To his left is Marcelo, and he makes the catch, but tagging from third. Or did he make the catch? You know what? I don't think he did. The ball, I thought he had caught the ball. Apparently he missed it. The ball bounced fair and then bounced out of play, and it's a ground rule RBI double for Mendoza. You know, I saw the umpire put his right hand up, but actually he was calling time, meaning ball's dead, went out of play, and it's a ground rule double for Angel Mendoza. His second hit tonight, his second RBI tonight. And it's now 10-1 Yolo. So that gets Banks home from third. And now the top of the Yolo order up for the 6th time for the center fielder, Braylon Skinner. And he swings and he bloops this one toward left field. Base hit. Rounding third is Mendoza. And he will score as the left fielder Marino, his throw comes in toward the third baseman Viola on the grass. And now everybody tonight in the High Wheelers starting lineup has at least a hit. So Skinner and Banks, who were both without even reaching base tonight, both take care of that here in the 9th inning. So 3 more runs in for the High Wheelers, who now have an 11-1 lead in the top half of the 9th. So give Braylon Skinner an RBI. And now it's Braylon Marine, who is 1 for 4 with a walk. And Esposito's pitch, and Marine takes high ball 1. And that moves the count to 1 ball and no strikes. So 8 runs have scored based on walks that have come with nobody out tonight for Yolo as Marine fouls one off right side. 1 ball and 1 strike. Let's update the stats for you. The double by Mendoza gives him 21 RBIs this year. The single by Skinner, now 45 runs for him batted in 2024 as Marine is at the plate, and the count is a 1 ball and 1 strike. So 11-1 Yolo. Top half of the 9th inning with Braden Blackford on deck. And the pitch, and that is inside for a ball. So 11-1 High Wheelers. 14 hits now, by the way, for Yolo. As the pitch to Marine low and in, that's ball 3. So 3 balls and a strike to count with Skinner at first and 1 out. 11-1 High Wheelers. And the 3-ball, 2-strike pitch, and Marine takes low and in, ball 4. So he's on base for the 3rd time now. 2nd time he has walked. Skinner moves up to second base. And now it's Braden Blackford, who's 2 for 4, a couple of singles, including an RBI single in the 4th inning. He's been on base 3 times. So 11-1 now, High Wheelers. Here in the top half of the 9th inning, so barring the unforeseen, Yolo will go up by 2 games, plus a bonus game over Boise for the second place spot in the playoffs. So Yolo can do no worse leaving here with the tiebreaker in hand going home, assuming they hold on to this 10-run lead, which right now we're in the top of the 9th inning, 11-1 Yolo, as Braden Blackford takes high ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. So Skinner's at second, Marine's at first, and Blackford is swinging a miss at a high fastball, strike 1. And the count's now at 1 ball and 1 strike to Braden Blackford, with Jose Gonzalez on deck. 11-1 Yolo, and Blackford takes, and that hits the inner half of the plate, strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Skinner at second, Marine at first, and Blackford swings and misses, strike 3. Pitch on the inner half. He was really tied up in knots right there. And he is out, so he's now 2 for 5 tonight, 2 out. And now the 8th man to bat in the inning digs in. It's the first baseman, Jose Gonzalez, who is 1 for 3, couple of walks, a run scored. He's also singled. 11 runs, 14 hits, no errors for Yolo. 1 run, 2 hits. 1 run, 4 hits, and no errors for Boise. Now it's Gonzalez with 2 on and 2 out. And the pitch to Jose, and he swings and misses at a fastball, strike 1. Now it counts at no balls and 1 strike to Gonzalez. And the pitch on the way to Jose, and that is inside for a ball, ball 1. So counts at 1 ball and 1 strike. Tanner Smith on deck, and Gonzalez takes, and that's outside, ball 2. So 2-1 the count. It was Gonzalez that really got all of this started with a leadoff walk in the second inning. The 2-1 here is outside, ball 3. So 3 balls and 1 strike the count to Jose Gonzalez. 11-1 Yolo. Here in the top of the 9th inning. Gonzalez now 34 straight games in which he has reached base safely. So the count is at 1-2 to Jose Gonzalez. 11-1 High Wheelers, and the pitch, and Gonzalez swings and misses, strike 3. Fastball in the inner half. And he is out. But David Glancy gets it started. The walk in the 9th inning. 8 men come up, 3 scores. So 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors, and 2 left. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Last chance for Boise. It's Yolo 11 and Boise 1 on YouTube Live. We go to the bottom of the ninth inning. It is 11-1 Boise. And, well, Brandon Mitchell, he's not going to come out and try for the complete game. So Reed Garland will come on in relief. He pitches the ninth with an 11-1 Yolo lead. And Nick Olch leads it off. And the first pitch to Olch, outside ball 1-0. So Garland, you recall, began the year with Boise, was here, meaning in Boise, until mid-July. So obviously he knows that mound quite well, this ballpark quite well. As Olch takes outside ball 2. So 2 balls and no strikes. Olch, Yonamine, and Marino to face the Rock Hill, South Carolina product, and Reed Garland. Olch 0 for 3 in his Boise debut. 11-1 Yolo. Bottom of the ninth inning, trying to make it 3 straight wins in this series, and 3 out of the first 4 in this series. As a pitch tap foul up along first, strike 1. 2-1. So Brandon Mitchell, you look 11 runs, 14 hits, but Brandon Mitchell certainly, no doubt about it, equally as good as you could say the offense was tonight for the High Whalers. The 2-1 outside of the high ball 3. 3-1. Mitchell, a season best for him, 8 innings. Allowed 4 hits, 1 run earned, a walk, 9 strikeouts, most ever for him in a professional uniform, and a wild pitch. 3 balls, 1 strike. 11-1 Yolo, and the pitch here, and that's up and in from Garland, ball 4, so not the way he wanted to get the bottom of the ninth going. Walking Olch on 5 pitches. And now Yonamine comes up to face the right-hander in Garland. The numbers for Garland as a Yolo pitcher. Garland is 1-1. 1.1 ERA, again in a Yolo uniform. 10th appearance with the High Whalers, and his 8th out of the bullpen. Now it's Yonamine, and he looks at a strike of the knees, strike 1. Well, the count's at no balls and 1 strike from Garland, who wears number 1 on the back of his black shirt. 6'2", 185 pounds in Garland. First pro year, and he fires one way over the head of Yonamine all the way to the backstop. The wild pitch moves Olch up to second as the catcher in Mendoza has to go pick up the baseball near the screen. And the count to Yonamine is at 2 balls and no strikes. So first appearance of this series for Garland. Yonamine 0 for 3 tonight. So Olch to second base. 11-1 Yolo. Garland, gray pants up to his knees, deals, and a curve way outside. That's ball 3. So Garland has made 7 pitches. And 6 of them have been balls. The count's at 3-1. 11-1 High Whalers. Garland delivers, and Yonamine takes. Actually, the count was at 2-1. I beg your pardon. It was a pitch ahead. So it is now 3-1. So 7 of the 8 pitches have been balls issued by Garland. So 3 balls, 1 strike. Bottom of the ninth inning. And the pitch, and Yonamine swings away and fouls into the backstop. And the count moves now to 3 balls and a strike. I gave you the numbers for Garland in a Yolo uniform. With Boise this year, he was 3-2 with a 7.2 ERA in 12 games. 7 as a starter. Well, the pitch to Yonamine, fouled off right side, strike 2. So the count moves now to 3 balls and 2 strikes. So 11-1 Yolo. Again, the High Whalers coming into tonight 2 games back of Oakland. Now the High Whalers, well, they can, all sorts of scenarios. 3 ball, 2 strike pitch, and Yonamine swings and rolls one foul up along third. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 11-1 Yolo over Boise, bottom of the ninth inning. Oakland right now at home leads Idaho Falls 4-0. Remember, Oakland shut out Idaho Falls last night and could possibly shut them out again tonight. So 3 balls and 2 strikes the count, with Yolo leading Boise 11-1 in the bottom of the ninth inning. Yolo could, obviously, they could still win the division. Certainly in decent spot for the second place playoff spot. 3-2. Yonamini swings, ground ball up the middle, center field, base hit. Rounding third is Olch, and he will score standing up. Makes it now 11-2 in favor of the Yolo High Whalers. So the leadoff walk comes back to hurt Garland. So we've seen the High Whalers tonight take advantage of the leadoff walk. And now we see Boise take advantage of the leadoff walk. And that ball was hit just to the shortstop side of second base. So give Yonamine a run batted in. The RBI for Micah is now his team high 94th this year. And Jerome Williams out to have a discussion with Garland. And, here you are coming into this game. You got a 10-run lead here in the ninth inning. Probably is saying, look, just get the ball down the middle. I mean, you walked the leadoff guy and you fell behind Yonamine, and now here is Marino, who is 1 for 3 tonight. Garland, it's been almost a week since he's worked. In fact, it's been exactly a week since he's worked. This is August 30th? So, yeah, he last worked on the 23rd, last pitched on the 23rd. As now Marino will come to the plate. And Marino, I mentioned 1 for 3 this evening. And he swings to the first pitch, and he hits it toward a little looper toward short, and it's going to be caught by the shortstop in Braylon Marine. So just a little jam shot there, back a second, and Marine, the shortstop, went back of the bag to make the catch. So 1 down. Yonamine holds at first base. And the lead for Yolo is at 11-2 now. And here is Trevor Minder, who takes inside ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and no strikes. Minder is 0 for 3. But if Oakland holds on to beat Idaho Falls, they'll stay 2 ahead of Boise. They'll stay 2 ahead of Yolo. And then Boise would then be 4 out of first place, so their best chance then would be second, obviously. Yolo would stay 2 back Oakland. But remember, those 2 teams have 6 games against each other coming up Tuesday. Those games will be in Davis. Count the Minders at 2-2. 1 on, 1 out. 11-2 Yolo, bottom of the ninth. Garland kicks and delivers, and a breaking ball, tap foul to the backstop by Minders. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tomorrow and Sunday, right back here at 6 o'clock, we'll start the YouTube live feed at 6 o'clock Pacific time. Ben Ferrer, who's certainly been as hot as anybody in the Pioneer League, he gets the ball for Yolo. The kick and the 2-2 pitch. And that's very high, ball 3. So 3-2 the count. Luke Malone will pitch for Boise. So 3 balls and 2 strikes the count. With Tyner Hughes on deck. Doug Greenwald with you. Yolo 11, Boise 2. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, bottom of the ninth. And the 3-2. And that is up and away, ball 4. So Garland, he's really having a tough go in this inning. It's the second walk he's allowed. And the 2 walks he's given up, he really hasn't been anywhere near the plate. It's not like you can even question any of those balls. So it's first and second now. So Yonamine up to second base. And here's Tyner Hughes, who is 2 for 3. A double, a single, and a run scored. So Yolo 11, Boise 2, bottom of the ninth inning. And the pitch on the way to Hughes, and that's low outside, ball 1. So 1 ball and no strikes. And I don't imagine that Billy Horton wants to get anybody else up in the bullpen tonight. Not with right now a 9-run lead in the bottom half of the ninth inning. As the pitch to Hughes, and that's ripped down the left field side, and that's going to get down for a base hit. Yanamine will score. Far to his right to grab the ball. The left fielder Glancy up with it. Stopping at third is Minder, and Hughes a 3-hit night. Give him an RBI double. And it's now 11-3 Yolo in the bottom half of the ninth inning. So Tyner Hughes, give him a run batted in. So RBI for Hughes is his 34th. And now it's second and third with one out. 4 of the first 5 have reached here in the ninth. And now it's Noah Marcello. And he looks up and away, ball 1. And that moves the count to 1 ball and no strikes. So 11-3 in favor of the High Wheelers in the bottom half of the ninth inning. Count to Marcello is at 1 ball and no strikes from Reed Garland, who deals, and Marcello is swinging a miss, pitching the dirt, strike 1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Garland, the last game for him, August 23rd against Boise, worked 1 inning and walked 1. By the way, these are earned runs, and it's the first time the bullpen has allowed earned runs since Game 2 of the doubleheader at Grand Junction on August 17th. 1-1 pitch fouled off, right side, strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, so that breaks the string. When Yanamine drove home Olch, that broke the string of 25 2/3 consecutive innings for the bullpen without allowing an earned run. 11-3 Yolo, 1 out, bottom of the ninth, and Marcello swings here, and he grounds this ball into left field, a base hit. Rounding third, or in from third to score is Minder. Hughes gets as far as third, and Marcello has a base hit. I say that ball went out into left field. The shortstop, Marine, he actually went and got it deep in the hole at short or shallow left, but there was nothing he could do about it. So Minder scores. Give Marcello what'll be an infield single and a run batted in. 3 runs home now for the Hawks. It's now 11-4 in favor of Yolo. Still only 1 out. Runners at the corners. And now it's Tyler Jorgensen who comes to the plate. By the way, Hughes night, we already gave you the RBI for him, now with 34 this year. Marcello with that infield single a moment ago. That's his 43rd run batted in. There's already been 1 visit this inning by the High Wheeler bench. Jerome Williams, the pitching coach, came out to talk to Garland. Now it's Jorgensen, who is 0 for 2 with a walk. And that is going to be all. So Billy Horton now is on his way to the mound. So pitching change here in the bottom of the ninth inning. And, yeah, still quite a mountain for Boise, but they're starting to climb it a little bit. 3 runs in, 2 on, 1 out. And Andrew LaCour will come in and now try to put out the Flames here in the top half of the ninth inning with a score. Yolo 11 and Boise 4. Back in a moment on YouTube Live. Well, Andrew LaCour, who probably didn't think he was going to pitch tonight, but he comes on here in the bottom of the ninth inning. 2 on, 1 out, 11-4 Yolo, bottom of the ninth. And now Tyler Jorgensen bats to face LaCour, who's done a very good job in his first now almost a month with the High Wheelers. 1 win, 1 loss, 2.61 ERA. 11th game for him, all out of the bullpen for the UC Davis alum. And he certainly has had his way against Boise over the last now 2 weeks. Jorgensen 0 for 2 with a walk, and he swings at the first pitch and flies it to center field. And to his right, Skinner to make the catch. Tagging from third is Hughes. He will score easily standing up. High Wheelers more than happy to allow the run for the out right there. So give Jorgensen sacrifice fly, run batted in. So it is now 11-5 Yolo here in the ninth inning, but with 2 out now, and Boise is down to its last out as it, for the 5th time tonight, will go to the top of its order for the catcher in Nick Klemp. So give Jorgensen a sacrifice fly. That's his 51st run batted in. And now it's Klemp, who is 0 for 4. I mentioned LaCour and the great job he has done against Boise. He finished the game here the other night with a perfect ninth inning. Against Boise in the last 2 weeks, he has 4 shutout innings with 5 strikeouts. So now Klemp, and he swings and misses at a breaking ball, strike 1. And the count is at no balls and a strike from LaCour, who is 22 years old, 6'2", 190 pounds, from Walnut Creek, after he joins the High Wheelers after 4 years with UC Davis. Boise down to its last out, and the pitch, and Klemp swings, and a ground ball to third that's gloved by Blackford, throws across to Gonzalez at first, and safe there. Safe is Klemp. Gonzalez had to step off the bag to take that throw. Marcella moves up to second base. We'll see how they rule that. That was a long throw across the diamond for Blackford. But Gonzalez did have to step off the bag. They're going to rule that an error on Blackford. So Klemp 0 for 5 now. First error for either team tonight. Max Young Goldberg is going to go and pinch run for Klemp at first base. Been a 4-run bottom of the ninth inning for Boise. 11-5 Yolo. So Young Goldberg, who we normally has seen as a starter either at second base or left field over the last couple of weeks against the Hawks, he pinch runs at first. So it's first and second now with 2 out. And here is Viola. And this is not a save situation for LaCour. So 11-5 now. There's been a lot of activity in this ninth inning. Yolo scored 3 times in the ninth in the top of this inning, and now Boise at the moment a 4-run inning, and now it's Viola who bats with Yolo up 11-5 in the bottom half of the ninth. The runners at first and second, and the pitch, and Viola, a big swing and a miss, strike 1. 0-1 the count. Again, tomorrow we'll start the feed, the YouTube live feed at 6 o'clock Pacific time. And a 6:05 Pacific time first pitch. Ben Ferrer for Yolo, Luke Malone for Boise, a pair of right-handers. The 0-1 swing grounder foul up along third, strike 2 from the Purdue alum and Troy Viola. So no balls, 2 strikes. Viola 0 for 4 tonight. Runner at second still belongs to Garland. That's Marcello. The 0-2. And Viola swings and misses. Breaking pitch, strike 3. Foul tipped into the glove of the catcher Mendoza. And the ball game is over. Or is it? Did they call that a foul ball? Are they looking at this again? Nope, they have called it strike 3, and this one is over. So there had been a discussion, but apparently it was clearly foul tipped into the glove of the catcher Mendoza. And the evening's festivities are over, and the Yolo High Wheelers now have won 3 straight games in this series as they defeat the Boise Hawks tonight by a count of 11-5. By the way, in the 9th inning, as Viola strikes out swinging for the second time tonight, and it's the first strikeout for LaCour, Boise sends 9 to the plate, so 4 runs for Boise in the 9th inning. 4 runs, 3 hits. There was 1 error and 2 runners left. Here are the final totals in this one. First for the victorious Yolo High Wheelers, who are now 2 games up over Boise for that second playoff spot in the second half of the Pioneer League. Yolo now 48-38 overall and 25-15 in the second half. 11 runs, 14 hits, 1 error, and 11 left. For the Boise Hawks, who fall to 48-40 and 23-17 in the second half. 11 runs, 14 hits, 1 error, 11 stranded. I'm sorry, let's try this again, Doug. That's the Yolo totals. Let me slow down for a moment. Okay, take a breath, Doug. Let's take 2 here. Final totals for the victorious Yolo High Wheelers. 11 runs, 14 hits, 1 error, and 11 left. For the Boise Hawks, who dropped to 48-40 and 23-17 in the second half. 5 runs, 7 hits, no errors, and 6 left. The winning pitcher tonight, 8 outstanding innings for Yolo's Brandon Mitchell. So he is the winner this evening for Yolo. He is now 5-2, and the losing pitcher is Braden Spears of Boise, and he drops to 6-2. Brandon Mitchell tonight for Yolo, 8 innings, 4 hits, 1 run earned, a walk, 9 strikeouts, the most for him ever as a professional pitcher, and he authored a wild pitch. Reed Garland tonight for Yolo, 1/3 of an inning, gave up 3 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 2 walks, no strikeouts. Andrew LaCour lasted 2/3 of an inning tonight with 1 strikeout. The final line for Braden Spears of Boise, 3 2/3 innings for the starter, 5 hits, 6 runs all earned, 3 walks, no strikeouts, 2 at-batters, a home run, and a wild pitch. Cameron Dayton, 2 1/3 innings of shutout relief, 3 hits, no walks, a strikeout. Eliezer Alfonso, 2s across the board. You figure the category, put a 2 in there, and he allowed 1 home run. And Michael Esposito worked the 9th inning, 1 inning, 3 hits, 3 runs, which were all earned, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. So that the totals here this evening, as the Yolo High Wheelers now take 3 out of 4 in this series and win it, as I said, by a score of 11-5. So the Yolo High Wheelers now a 2-game first-place lead over the Boise Hawks for that second. 2-game second-place lead over Boise, but they also hold the wild card, or hold the tiebreaker, does Yolo. So Yolo, 2-game lead plus the bonus game, if you will, in this one. By the way, time of tonight's game, 2 hours and 58 minutes, played in front of a better-than-sellout crowd. They packed it here tonight, paid crowd of 4,657, so Yolo wins it 11-5. Everybody in the Yolo lineup reached base safely. That included first baseman Jose Gonzalez, a single, 2 walks, a run scored. So Jose tonight now a 34 consecutive game streak in which he's reached base safely. I'd say the hitting star tonight for Yolo was Tanner Smith, a pair of home runs for the right fielder. He was 3 for 5. Now on the year, 11 homers. He scored 3 runs. Second multi-homer game of the year for Tanner Smith, who now has 47 runs batted in. Yolo right fielder Tanner Smith at the top of his game. David Glancy, the left fielder, he reached base 4 times. 2 walks, a single, a hit by pitch. He also scored 3 runs. How about Ethan Bates? Could make him hitter of the game as well. He was 2 for 4 tonight, 2 singles, 3 RBIs, a 2-run single, and that 3-run second, also a sac fly for the two-way player. Catcher Angel Mendoza, 2 for 4. RBI triple, RBI ground rule double, hit by pitch. He scored a couple of runs. Braylon Skinner, an RBI single for the center fielder. The shortstop, Braylon Marine, was 1 for 4 tonight, a single, 2 walks. Braden Blackford, the third baseman, 2 for 5, 2 singles, an RBI, and a walk. Kirkland Banks, an RBI double in that 3-run ninth, 1 for 5. So offense up and down the lineup, and Yolo wins it 11-5. So Yolo now has won 3 in a row. And you go back to that game, the last game in northern Colorado, going back to that last road trip. With that win, Yolo has now won 14 out of its last 17 games. So Yolo now a 2-game lead for that second playoff spot, now down to 8 games left here in the 2024 regular season. 11-5, Yolo beats Boise. Our next YouTube Live audiocast tomorrow night, we will have it for you starting at Pacific time, 6 o'clock, and a 6:05 p.m. first pitch, again, Pacific time. In that one, it'll be for Yolo, the right-hander, Ben Ferrer, one of the best pitchers this year in the league. Ferrer coming in with a record of tied for first in wins at 9-3, and Boise will go with right-hander Luke Malone at 6-6. I want to thank Kelly Greenwald, my sister, for listening tonight, and our producer-director Michael Sapel. Great job as well. Final score tonight, Yolo 11, Boise 5. Doug Greenwald saying good evening.